Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Catt. We're at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We got you for the next 2 hours. It's a beautiful Monday, the 6th. We got our boy Weston in the house. You're here to watch the show with us. And Mike, we got a lot to talk about, my friend. First things first. Weston comes in. Weston's in 3rd grade. And Weston, the first thing he does is declare his allegiance to Ohio State. And
my man.
so that's how you get on Mike Rizzo's good
My
side.
man.
Immediately. His mother went to Ohio State. He was born in the Ohio State Hospital. So that's a tough.
So hang on.
That's a tough sell.
His mother from Columbus went to Ohio State. First thing I told you is that a kid was a Buckeye fan before he was born. So, and born in Columbus Hospital means a lot.
His father is here with us.
Is
Is a Penn State guy.
Correct.
So one day a year, it probably has to drive the Penn State fan crazy whenever they play Ohio State. But he did choose the better of the two halves because now he can celebrate a win for Ohio State while Penn State is grieving after losing to UCLA, an unranked opponent, one of the worst losses Penn State has suffered in 15 years. Christian Catt is our Penn State guy behind the glass, too. So we got a lot to react to. We got a lot of things to touch on. It's NFL Week 5, which is now mostly away and done with. We have a good Week 5 Monday Night Football game. Jaguars-Chiefs coming up a little later on. And we'll get into that because we got you for 3 hours today, actually, up until 7 p.m. We get the 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet, starting at 6 o'clock. And, Mike, the thing I wanted to start with in terms of the games yesterday in favor of our pal Weston, who's a big Eagle fan, too. So you love the champions, Weston does. He's got 2 championships in football the last 2 years. Eagles lost yesterday.
Yeah, they did. And I don't want to hear from Philly fan how it was pass interference at the end of the game.
See, this is why Mike's in a tough spot.
Spare me.
Mike hates
All right.
the Philly fan.
Yeah.
Mike hates the Philly fan. Mike cannot stand a Philadelphia sports fan. But he's got Weston here, our pal, who is an Ohio State Philadelphia fan.
He's allowed to be, though. The dad's from Philly. By the way, dad's not like Philly fan that works with us, okay? Dad is a good Philly fan. All right, I promise you on that. But the game itself, I think one of the better games this Sunday. You got to give credit to Sean Payton and the Broncos for fighting back in the game. They were losing the game for majority of the time. And then I did think originally when they weren't able to drain the clock and kick the field goal, I did think Philadelphia was going to go down and score. And to be fair, was that holding, pass interference, a flag? I would probably say yes. Okay, I probably would.
They had 3 other flags that drive, which is why I didn't even bother to consider it.
So, but at the same time, I understand Philly fans' gripe. You aren't going to win all those games. I understand that at the end of the year, you look and see who's been great in a close game. But Philly, you weren't going to win like that all season long. You did that for the first 4 weeks of the season. You were living on the edge like that for the first 4 games of the season. I compare it to Kansas City early on. Remember how Kansas City beat Denver last year? And it's like, oh my God, how did they win that game? I think that game was last week for the Eagles when they didn't complete a pass in Tampa Bay and somehow won the game. So I'm not sounding the alarms. If you're an Eagle fan, I wouldn't sound the alarms.
I wouldn't either.
I found it funny today. People were going, pundits for, national pundits were going, how would you fix the Eagle offense? Why isn't he fixing? Why are we looking at this thing with a magnifying glass? They won about 20 games in a row.
Yeah.
And now it's like, how do you fix it? That's not the question. The main question with the Eagles today is, are they the team that's going to continue to win these games? Are they the new Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL where they're going to win these games and it's just not going to be pretty? I think that's the conversation, not the, are you going to fix it? There's nothing to fix here. Jalen Hurts is a quarterback who figures out how to win in big spots. Saquon Barkley's still the best running back in the NFL. And spare me with the feelings getting hurt of the wide receivers.
That was my
Spare me with that.
That's my big takeaway. Because the story around the Eagles the last, week and a half has been, hey, A.J. Brown, who we know is a great player, is unhappy.
Well, he did this last year.
And Devonta Smith, another player who's a really good player, unhappy, but in a different way. And it's all turning to, well, how can the Eagles get those guys involved and become, the best version of themselves and get the passing game going and make sure those receivers are well-fed, so to speak. And then Jalen Hurts goes out there, throws 38 passes. The second time he's thrown 35-plus passes in 2 years. And he throws 38 passes, and they blow a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. If there is not a more indicative aha moment, we talked about it earlier. If there's not an aha moment like the fact that, all right, receivers, hey, we threw the ball. And even that last play of the game, a Hail Mary where both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown were fighting over the same football. If there is not a bigger moment of, all right, now can we put this to rest? You're going to have to make a decision as a receiver. Do you care that much about your individual performance, or do you want the team to win?
Yep.
I'm not saying the fact that Jalen Hurts, that the receivers played well is the reason that they lost, but the reason is Jalen Hurts throws the ball a lot, and they tend to lose a lot more because of that than when he's a manager, 20, 25 passes a game, and they're able to control the ball on the ground. That's where I got. You threw the ball trying to satisfy your receivers, and you blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter at home to a team you probably should have beaten and controlled the entire game. That's where I'm like, all right, that's the more pathetic nature to that whole game.
If I'm a Philly fan, I'm sitting today going, didn't we do this song and dance last year? Didn't Jalen Hurts have to come out and talk to the media and explain that him and A.J. Brown are talking? Remember the story last year was A.J. Brown and Hurts aren't talking.
Right.
And that they hate each other. I thought winning a Super Bowl would fix all of this. I thought the receivers, and then listen, I'm putting myself in Philly fan's shoe here. If I'm a Philly fan, I'm going, I thought winning a Super Bowl would have fixed all this garbage. Isn't it about winning now? We got a taste of what it's like to win a Super Bowl. Shouldn't we all just put our egos aside and focus on winning a Super Bowl again?
And it's only the receivers. You got to make a decision. You're not going to have the best individual statistics if the team is going to be great. That's where you're in a tricky spot. Cooper Kupp had an example. That's a different situation when he won the Triple Crown and then they went on to win the Super Bowl. That's different. Very rarely does a receiver at the top level in the National Football League be that great and the team also be great. It very rarely happens. It is about the quarterback playing great, the offensive line, defensive line playing great, and them having a stable rushing attack for the most part. You need all of that, and then the team is usually really good. The receiver does not need to be excellent for the team to be consistently great. That's where they have to make a decision. Do I care more? And the thing is, they're in a tough spot because what are you going to do on a 4-0 team? Say, I want out?
Right.
Because
it's a bad
look
look on you.
It looks bad. Because what team is going to what team that's the opposite of team first. So what team is going to look at that and say, oh, let's go get him? There are receivers on really bad teams that are excellent. And they have their fun, they make their money, and they don't do a thing in the National Football League. Take a look at Justin Jefferson. There is a lot of great receivers that will never get the opportunity to be on great teams. They're lucky enough to be on an excellent, not even just great, an excellent team. And they're now sitting here complaining left and right about their usage. If there is not hey, look at this, start getting on with the program. If there is not one of those games on the schedule, take a look at what happened yesterday. Because that's the game on the schedule where the Eagles can say, we tried to throw it all game. We threw it 40 times. For a guy who doesn't like throwing it 40 times. Maybe the defense forced us into that, but we were definitely trying to satisfy the needs of our receivers more and more. We did that, and we lost.
I also think every game is different.
Totally.
The ebbs and flows of these games are different. Sometimes.
But you blew a 14-point lead, and you couldn't score at the end of the game when you're throwing it every down. Right. That's where I look around and I say, all right, this is clearly a better team when they're based on Hurts in the short game and Saquon Barkley rushing attack. That is when the team is at their best.
Yep. And how far Eagle fan has come, right? 2 Super Bowls, 16 and last year, and now you lose one game after, winning your first 4 weeks, winning the way you did too, in close games, pulling it out, finding a way, getting called the new Kansas City Chiefs, and now everyone wants to call fire after one damn week. I mean, come on. This team's fine. Sirianni's a good coach. I think Hurts is a great quarterback. You got the best running back in football, and you got the best defense in football. All right.
If there's not a bigger moment tell the receivers, hey guys, take a back seat. All right.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when your number's called.
I thought we were done with. I thought we were done with this.
But there's your aha. There's your aha. That's what the team needed. There's your aha. We're not playing like that anymore.
Now, was this one more about the Eagles blowing it or the Broncos pulling through?
I would say
spot?
both because the Broncos did go for 2 to take that 18 to 17 point lead, and that ended up winning them the game because now the Eagles had to go down and score a touchdown after that following field goal to make it 21-17. That ended up winning the game. That was a gutsy call. But this, to me, is the Eagles getting 4 opportunities in the fourth quarter and not being able to do anything with it.
And I was listening to you fill in for Theo today. You called Mayfield a gamer. I think I'm going to say the same about Nix.
He's a gamer.
I think I'm going to say the same
He's
thing
gonna
about
gut
Bo
out.
Nix.
He's just going to gut out a game.
He's one of those guys that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Throughout a course of a game. He could throw 2 interceptions in the first half, but he's going to come back in the second half, and he's going to have a fresh head. You want to know what I think a lot of that is? Playing 5 years in college.
Yeah.
Playing 5 years in college, having a ton of experience, having bad games, having bad halves, but being able to have that experience.
He's got a short memory.
And I think a lot of it has to do with college, but him and Peyton were brilliant yesterday. I thought Sean Payton called a great game, and I did think those two were the main reason they were able to come back and win that
Clutch
game. Now,
third down conversions.
Give credit to the defense, too.
Yeah.
Give credit to the defense getting stops late in the game from one of the – and I don't care what people say. I still think Philadelphia has a great offense. The numbers might not be there. Spare me.
The offenses are great.
It's a great offense. And for the Denver Broncos to get off the field at key moments, I thought was everything to let Bo Nix and Sean Payton do their thing on the offensive end.
Yeah, the Eagles, they blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. It was a situation where the Broncos were 1-112, trailing by 14+ in the fourth quarter in their franchise's history. And now they're 2-112 based off that game in Philadelphia. Good for my over. I needed 10 wins from the Broncos, and we should be in decent spot looking ahead. But that was the type of game where the Broncos couldn't get out of their own way, and now you look around thinking that's the type of win that we need to catapult us into at least stardom.
You and I love talking about the teams that are good in close games. We just talked about the Eagles and how they were able to pull these games out. The Broncos, the Indianapolis game where they're jumping the center, the Charger game. I feel like they deserved this game.
They needed a win.
They needed a win, and I feel like how they lost against the Colts jump in the center and how they lost against Herbert and the Chargers. It's like, okay, the football gods do exist in the sense of they were able to get one. They were able to get a close game. This team could easily be 5-0. They could easily be 5-0 and at the top of the I understand the divisional games and whatnot, Kyle, but they should be the top team in the AFC West at 5-0 right now if a couple of things went their way. And I think with a good coach like Sean Payton and a gamer quarterback like Bo Nix would be a tough out. And I remember watching NFL Live before the season started. Teddy Bruschi, one of my favorite guys, he goes, "Look out for Denver." I go, "Really?" Like they were talking about Super Bowl contenders. And he said Denver.
Their offense isn't consistent enough.
I didn't understand it at the time, and that's why I was going to you. I said, Bo Nix in his second year, there's a lot of questions there. Is a guy like J.K. Dobbins going to be able to stay healthy throughout the entirety of the year? You know, former Buckeye, or our buddy West over here, former Buckeye J.K. Dobbin. But I kind of see the vision. I do. Hall of Fame coach, elite defense, and a gamer in Bo Nix.
Isn't it bizarre how things can change in basically the 3 weeks? Because 3 weeks ago, we were talking about how Denver's in a tricky spot, especially how they've handled the first couple games of the year, losing the way they did to the Colts. And you talk about the Chargers, who started the season 3-0 in division games and now have dropped 2 straight games in dramatic fashion.
Well, I told you.
And then you got the Chiefs, who are 0-2. Are they done? And then all of a sudden, they got an opportunity to go 3-2 themselves. That is the life of the NFL. Any given Sunday, 3 weeks can change the entire narrative about certain teams, divisions, and everything like that.
It is truly the definition of a week-by-week basis. Like when you hear the famous saying of, oh, he's week by week.
It's any given Sunday.
It really is. And I told you karma was coming for that cheater, Harbaugh. I told you. Everyone was jumping on that bandwagon, getting Super Bowl chanted.
27 straight points to the Commanders is pretty rough.
Give me a break.
They were up 10-0.
Give me a break. Okay. And now seeing the Broncos do their thing and the Chiefs come back. Now, listen. We took your damn Jacksonville Jaguars on the cover 5 tonight. I hope they show up on the money line and the spread line. But one would think Kansas City does move on to 3-2 in some capacity tonight.
I tend to agree. We'll get into that game as we move further into the show today. We got you up until 7, Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. We're going to have Seth Jones, the Florida Panthers defenseman, join us in just about 20-some odd minutes, about 4:40. Seth Jones will be on with us talking about the Panther season. They got the ring ceremony tonight. They got the raising the banner. They got the first game, home opener, tomorrow down at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise against the Blackhawks. So stay tuned for that. You'll hear that right here on ESPN 106.3. That's Seth Jones coming up in just a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little John C. Cassidy temperature check. On the other side of things, we will take a timeout, get into what we saw from the Patriots as well. The New England Patriots, 3-2. Mike and I thought that team stunk after week one. That's the NFL for you. Things change. Patriots are now here to stay. We'll get into that, get into a whole lot more. It's on the other side. It's Russo Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit signoramawpb.com.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
During football season, keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today, kick off your game day comfort, and don't sweat the small stuff.
Touchdown! Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. 888-760-3776. Your biggest overreaction to Week 5 of the NFL season now, essentially in conclusion outside of the Monday Night Football game on tonight between the Chiefs and the Jags. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Rizzo. We get Christian Cat. Now, if you're Mike Rizzo and you want to celebrate a pretty good performance by the Cleveland Browns, you got to make sure your health is in check, too, and that's where Mike goes over to Men's Only Medical.
Absolutely. That's Doc Al over at Men's Only Medical. And, folks, I am focusing on weight management and nutrition and the preventative. I'm taking preventative actions, so things don't happen when I'm 50 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. I'm trying to avoid some issues down the line, and that's what I'm doing with my good friend Doc Al over at Men's Only Medical. It's the concierge healthcare. And folks, if you're dealing with hair loss, if you need a skin assessment, If you got heart problems, all of this is happening over at Men's Way Medical. It's your one-stop shop men's health clinic. Women have hundreds of health clinics around the area. This is the first of its kind here in West Palm Beach. Your one-stop shop concierge healthcare at Men's Way Medical. Doc Al's a local guy. I'll tell you what, Doc Al was celebrating that Miami Hurricane victory. Big Miami Hurricane fan, Doc Al. He's also a Cardinal Newman guy, a graduate from Cardinal Newman. He's local. He's a guy you could trust. Go take a look at Men's Only Medical at mensonlymedical.com. That is mensonlymedical.com, the concierge healthcare that you need.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. In terms of the other teams that have had big games yesterday, I want to go no further than Sunday Night Football. Talk about the Patriots for a second. The team 23-20 over the Buffalo Bills in prime time in that building, a whiteout game. These teams got to stop with the whiteout games, by the way. They never work. But a whiteout game for the Buffalo Bills. I think
you're just thinking of Penn State too much, but I understand the
Never
point.
work. They never work. And the Patriots were able to kind of shut up the Bills, and a game where they mostly controlled it and they made game-winning plays. You got to give them all the credit in the world. And now that team is quietly 3-2. Yeah. That team could be really, really good.
Here's the thing: when Buffalo can't run the ball well, that's when they're in trouble. When they can't run the ball,
uncharacteristic turnovers,
and they couldn't. The Josh Allen interception, they had trouble running the ball. I think the biggest difference maker for the Bills within the last 2 years has been that run game in James Cook. And when Cook's averaging 3 yards a carry, I think it's going to be tough offensively. But give credit to the young quarterback, Drake May. No turnovers in the game. He managed the game. He's a true game manager. But if you're going to look this one purely on the box score, you're looking at the Patriots going, okay, how the hell did they win this game in Buffalo? The ebb and flow of the game was very odd. And you're right. You're 100% right when you say the Buffalo Bills kind of beat themselves with turnovers, bad clock management at moments before half. Very odd. The Dolphins lost this game, right? The Dolphins were in a close game, primetime game with the Bills in Buffalo.
Thursday night, yeah.
They lost from a Tua interception, and that's why I give credit to Drake May. Did he not have a touchdown? Yes, but he also didn't have an interception. So he played winning football in that sense. And you got to give credit to a coach like Vrabel, who, I know I called them dead after week 1. Colin, I still don't believe in them. That's how crazy I am at 3-2. I'm still not buying stock in the New England Patriots. I still think they're a 6-7 win football team at the end of the season. But this is one of those wins that if you're the Patriots as an organization, you're going, okay, these are the steps forward for Mike Vrabel. This is why you go out and get Mike Vrabel, because historically, since the Tom Brady era, post-Tom Brady, you have not been able to win in Buffalo.
This is that type of win. We alluded to it earlier on Theoretically Speaking. This win for last night for the Patriots was sort of akin to the Commanders winning on that Hail Mary against the Bears. It's sort of that first, and that was week 5, I believe, too. That was it might have been week 6 or 7, but it's one of those, you said franchise. That franchise ears perked up. Wait, we're not going to be a meddling in-betweener. This team has an opportunity to make the postseason. And I'm willing to say that because they should have won that Steeler game. And their next 7 games, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, then they got the Buccaneers, and then they got the Jets, Bengals, Giants. They could win 6 of those pretty handedly. In terms of situationally, we always talk about who's going to be the worst and go to first. I'm not saying they're going to go to first with Buffalo Bills sitting there, but they already got the win over them in the division. This is a team that could go from worst to the playoffs pretty capably because of not only that schedule, but they've showed you a lot of guts in the early part of the year and developing in the right direction. If they fix their fumbles, and that's a fixable. That's not an interception issue. That's fumbling.
Colin, I promise you this isn't because our good buddy Wes is in studio and he's a fellow Buckeye fan. Why the hell are they giving the ball so much to Raymond Stevenson when all he does is put the ball on the carpet? Give it to Trevion Henderson. You drafted him in the second round for a reason. I don't understand why Stevenson is getting so many carries when the game in and game out he's fumbling. I mean, he single-handedly lost him that Steeler game, fumbling the way he did. I mean, I know May had turnovers, but give Henderson the ball. That's the one knock I have on Vrabel. You drafted a second-round running back. Start giving him the ball a little bit. But Colin, I can't. I think they're one of those teams that's at the end of the season, they're going to have 7 wins, and you're going to go, wow, that team looks different under Mike Vrabel. I can't see him as a playoff team just because I think comparatively there are better teams in the AFC. Now, Kyle, if you're going to put the Patriots in one of the wild card spots, who are you leaving out? Are you leaving out a Baltimore Raven who look like they might not win the division and might not be a good team because of no Lamar Jackson? I just think comparatively there are better teams still lingering around that are a little better than the Patriots at this point in the AFC. You take a look at the AFC West, you got 3 teams that are probably going to make the playoffs out of the AFC West. So that'd be my only pushback, but I understand the weak schedule. I do.
That's as weak as it gets. I mean, that's 6 winnable games in the next 8. Because of that, that's situationally, that's a team that also took care of business against Carolina Panthers, who bi-weekly played terrible.
Dude,
and
you were obsessed with the Panthers.
Get
off the Panthers.
Mike, that team was a ride.
Dude,
that team was a ride. You got to jump on.
I know we're talking about the Pats right now, but that game was crazy. That Dolphin game and Panther game. It's like whenever you sign up to watch Carolina Panther football, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Sign up,
Bar
dude.
down,
it's a ride.
Anything can happen.
A ride. That team, I had the over, by the way, for those who don't know. 6.5 over. 7 wins I need.
I don't think everyone in Palm Beach County knows at this point.
I needed 2 out of their first 5. I would have loved 3, but 2 out of their first 5 I needed without a second.
They should have beat Arizona.
Thought.
They should have beat Arizona.
And this is a team that has had 2 of the worst losses you could possibly imagine, especially last week when they got bamboozled by the New England Patriots. And then they turn around this week and they win against a Dolphin team. He's got Bryce Young in his career, 8 career victories, 7 game winning drives. Just a bonkers team.
He is the definition of right when you think he's done and he
nailed
the last nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
he comes back from the dead.
It's very bizarre. And it's a ride. It really is a joy to watch that team because, who
is it? Hang on. Who is it running? Rico Dottle?
Who had 200-plus yards rushing.
Unbelievable, dude.
That team is a hoot. That team, bi-weekly, and then they're going to come out next week and they're going to lose by 50 points. Bi-weekly, an awful football team.
Forgiven.
Nothing wrong with that because I just need 7 wins. That's all I need. That game was a hoot, too. I mean, the Miami Dolphins, it's just bizarre. Up 17 in that game, and kind of shake it away. That's
talk about the nail.
Right on cue. On cue.
Talk about the nail in the coffin. I mean, is that Mike McDaniel's
and
nail in the coffin?
I mean, when they decided to punt
Boneheaded,
with a minute 20 to go with the 3 timeouts, was it the wrong move completely? I would say no, but you're going to put the game in your defense's hands in that situation and not let your offense go for it. That's where you get burned. You get the ball back to Carolina, and they're able to close the game.
Well, your defense wasn't able to stop a sieve the entire second half, or rather, a defense that was a sieve in the second half. Couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Bad.
You got to know the ebb and flow of the game and how it's going. You knew your defense wasn't going to get a stop there. But
off of field, that was...
I digress.
Yeah. I mean, that's just classic. That is classic Miami Dolphins to lose a game in that fashion. I mean, and as for yesterday was a lot of embarrassing losses.
Well, yeah, you had, the undefeateds all really going down,
I wouldn't even call that Patriot game an embarrassing loss, but they lost at home. Yeah. The Eagles lost at home. The Giants was a pathetic loss. The Jets was another pathetic loss. I mean, the Raiders, oh my gosh, what a pathetic loss that was for them. It's a lot of pathetic, and the Cardinals, a pathetic loss. These are embarrassing losses that you saw in Week 5.
So Christian Catt, our producer at the City Point Studios, on Russo Rizzo, we were talking. We're big on our Survivor. We're in big-time Survivor polls, okay? And we talked about that Cardinal capitulation.
I took the Cardinals in 1 in Indianapolis.
Dude,
together,
it's like
so I went down on 1.
We were on the Colts, by the way. We'll get to that game, but I took my bow in my group chat with my brother and cousin who are on our same Survivor team for the Colts. But Christian and I, back to the point, Christian and I talked about the Cardinals. We saw that show before. We saw that episode. Now, they won. They were able to somehow, some way, by the grace of God, beat the Carolina Panthers and keep us alive in our Survivor pool. But you knew they were losing that game yesterday just because of how they won the Panther game. Then there were a lot of those where the teams that were getting by the skin of their teeth finally didn't. The Bills finally didn't. The Eagles finally didn't. The Arizona Cardinals, and I know they've lost games, right? But they've won close games. They finally didn't. It was that week, this week, of these teams that have been kind of skating by in close victories weren't able to do it.
Well, that's where that works. It works in that first 4 games of the year. And then once you're sort of getting into, there's a lot of game film out, and these teams are starting to get their groove, whether positively or negatively. I mean, offensive lines are starting to play better, a little less penalties here and there. I know it's still a problem, but a little less penalties. Guys are more in shape. That is where at this point of the season is. This is where you really start to make your run or fall apart if you're an NFL team.
I think this is my favorite Indiana Jones movie, by the way. Well, how about the Colts, man? Indiana Jones and Danny Dimes. I mean, geez, I know Geno Smith stinks. Most interceptions in the NFL this year. I don't know what the hell happened to him. Guy goes to the Raiders and has Tom Brady talking into his ear and turns into one of the worst quarterbacks ever.
You think the Raiders are happy they made that decision?
No,
oh my
God, no.
How do you think Seattle feels right now, thinking that we let Geno walk out the door and we just got Sam Darnold on a bargain?
Right, and then on the flip side of that, the Vikings. Listen, I understand they somehow, some way beat the damn Browns. Don't even get me started on that godforsaken London game that happened at 9:30 in the morning. And that was a 4-hour game, and it wouldn't end. But there's a lot of that buyer's remorse, right? Buyers and sellers remorse at the quarterback situation this year. I cannot believe how bad the Raiders are. I was dead wrong before the year, and I said I thought they'd be able to be a tough out in the division. Those teams are going to walk all over them this year. And I think you saw a little bit of them. I don't want to say giving up, Colin, because these guys are professionals, but they didn't show up in that second half at all. It was pathetic. I felt bad for the Raider fan on Sunday.
Their best offensive player is a running back. And on a running back on a bad team with a lot of flaws all over the place. And with a brand new head coach who's an experienced coach, but brand new nonetheless. And they don't have a ton of defensive talent. I mean, and a quarterback that's not playing well. They have so many issues that they're going to need to fill in.
Chip Kelly should have stayed in college. He should have stayed with Wes and I's Buckeyes, okay?
I mean,
because that is a mess.
They got Tom Brady sitting there in the stands with them as well when he ever gets a chance. Like, how much of an example does Tom Brady really provide them?
Geno Smith started getting the whisper from Tom Brady and turned into the Geno Smith from 2013 with the Jets all over again.
If you live bet, perhaps on the Hard Rock Bet app, and maybe took Tennessee Titans when they were probably plus 1,000, plus 1,500, it was that lopsided of a game. On the app, you could do that. You could capitalize on a whole bunch of other things. You got 2 baseball games today in the divisional series. You got the NL side going today, the Cubs, Brewers in the late slate, and the Dodgers and the Phillies in the early slate, 6:08. You could catch that all and bet it all on the Hard Rock Bet app. Go down today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Hard Rock's the best because it caters to 2 types of players. The person that's brand new to a sports book and doesn't know what direction they want to go with their picks, or the person that is completely experienced and wants an intricate type of sports book. You could do that on the app. They can check out the Discover page, see what other users are putting together and betting on their own. It's all in one spot. It's the Hard Rock Bet app. Check it out today. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT. Who do you think embarrassed themselves the most in the NFL slate this week? Because
the New York Yankees. Oh, the NFL slate. The NFL slate.
Because if you do a couple different directions, if you opened it up, the Yankees embarrassed themselves. Penn State embarrassed themselves. Florida State embarrassed themselves. But I'm curious, NFL specific for you. We'll get into whoever embarrassed themselves sports-wide over the weekend, but NFL. Who's yours?
You could go a couple of directions here. I got to go with the Ravens. I know they didn't have their starting quarterback.
I can't blame them.
But
the
they just don't have
any
points.
They just didn't have any players.
44 points. Colin, they still have a damn defense.
But their 8 players were all Pro Bowlers who were out.
44 points.
They were missing pride. They were missing Kyle Hamilton. They were missing Ronnie Stanley. They were missing Lamar Jackson. They were missing Marlon Humphrey.
Fine. If you're making
that's fine. I understand
the Chargers. Then the Chargers.
That's a good answer.
Because khaki pants, if I'm going to sit,
here we go. Stop.
Hold on. If I'm going to sit here and say they gave Green Bay the preseason Lombardi before we played a game, well, they gave Justin Herbert and cheating khaki pants in week 3 the Lombardi, and now they've lost 2 games in a row, and they got divisional play coming up still. I'd probably have to go with the Ravens or the Chargers. We talked about the Raiders, but everyone thought outside of me, I feel like the consensus was the Raiders were kind of going to stink this year. So I would either say Ravens getting roasted by 44 points at home. You want some roasted Raven? Because you had that over at that ridiculous giant purple clam cake. And then I would say cheater, pumpkin eater, Harbaugh losing 27-10 to a Jaden Daniels on one leg.
Yeah, 27 straight points they gave up after a 10-0 lead. They couldn't do anything.
That's Herbert ball. That's Justin Herbert.
He's either there or he is not, and you feel his absence when he's just not having it that day. And that's in that building too. That stupid arena, that stupid stadium, SoFi Center, where it's all just away fans that are there. Oh, it's a joke.
It's like LA needed more football, right?
Right. Unbelievable.
LA needed
another
more
team
football.
that I said I thought embarrassed themselves were I thought the Eagles did in some
Come
capacity.
on.
I do.
It's one game. It's
Blew a 14-point lead at home to a team you probably should have beaten, held them to 3 points, and you're throwing the ball to please your wide receivers, and then you guys lose. And you lose in the facet that in the aspect that they did with that Hail Mary, and both guys got their hands on it, fighting over it. It was like a perfect visual to the situation. We have two receivers who are fighting over attention from their said quarterback, and the quarterback's, all right, somebody go get it, and they're both ripping it from each other, and nobody wins. That's the classic visual representation of what the Eagles were. Now you got to move on from it.
How they won like 20 in a row.
I know, it's not a big deal.
One game.
Specific to the weekend. Specific to the weekend.
Fair enough.
But I thought the Eagles did not handle themselves properly. We didn't even get into the New York teams. The New York Giants, the first team in 9 years to turn the ball over 5 straight possessions.
I also, in our Russo and Rizzo group chat, as you know, I'm a big Jackson Dart guy. I took my victory lap a little too early on that one on Sunday.
It's just
they're up 14-0. Christian texted playoffs. You know, I was right there with them, and then the rookiness of the rookie quarterback, I think, started coming
apart.
out. Brother,
Oh,
when he literally Dart literally threw the ball away. Like he was scrambling around, no one touched him, and he forgot the ball somehow.
Yeah. And then they got a 3-day week, and then they're going against the Eagles on a short week, Thursday Night Football, coming off a loss.
I was about to say, coming off a very bad tasting loss where they had the game won.
So me and Theo have come to an agreement. Like, we were texting about the games. He was giving me a lot of crap, and I was giving him a lot of crap. I think it's reasonable for football fans to not make any conclusion until like the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter, because these games flip on their head every single time. I was getting just so much crap from Theo about the Broncos until the Broncos came back and won. I was giving Theo so much crap about the Patriots, the Bills. You cannot make a conclusion on these games until they're over.
Yeah. And quick on that, our cover 5 picks.
Yeah, we did well.
Dude, firm handshakes in the chat, Kyle.
Cardinals.
So what do we take?
Did great.
What do we take?
So you took the Cowboys. I took the Colts.
Yeah.
And those were the two biggest
That'll
lopsided
win the week
games.
for us.
Yeah, they'll win the week. And I think if you're Jags, I got to check the app. If you're Jags.
What are you umming about, Christian?
You did not win the week. We did better than you this week.
You guys did?
Yeah.
What'd you guys have?
We had the Texans, baby. And the Texans brought
sorry.
home the bacon.
That's the one. Was that your bet?
This is the
Fair
type.
play to you if it
this
was.
is the type of week.
Fair play to you if it was.
This is the type of week to have.
But here's the thing. I am
picks because it was a blowout week.
This might come out as selfish. I'm just the grand overall is what I'm worried about, and I still think we have the lead.
Oh yeah, you still do.
The grand overall. And for those of you that don't know what this is, Christian, it's our Cover 5 competition where if you could sign up for free.
And
that's
you could
Cover 5.
it's an app on the App Store, Cover 5, and you could it's treated like lightning bets. So if you bet a game against the spread -3, the team wins by 10, you get 7 points. So that's why the blowouts were big for us, because if you get a blowout and the Texans spread is -1, and all of a sudden they win by 35 points, then you can turn around and say, hey, we're plus 35 in that game alone. We make 5 picks a week. ESPN West Palm is the actual league name. You could join and use code MVP 2025 to get in on the action. And the winner each week gets entered into a chance to co-host the show.
Well, no.
They have to win the year.
The year, yeah. And that's
it.
close.
And
You got to get them by now.
And each week is the chance to win Duffy's.
Yes, if you beat both Team Theoretically Speaking and Team Russo and Rizzo, all those teams that are above us, they get entered to win Duffy's.
Christian needs to be the one explaining this for now
Yeah,
on,
it worked.
by the way.
We got through that.
And anyway, listen, Christian, you won the week until the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Chiefs by about 20 points tonight at home.
I called the Patriots winning outright, and my second dog and cats and dogs
I was
is the
in
Jaguars.
on the Patriots too. We should have taken that. Yeah,
I do think the Jaguars are going to win this
You
game
were
outright.
onto that. You were onto that.
Yeah, I hope. I'm nervous about that Jacksonville game. It's going to be a close one. I do think it will be close, but I can't say that will be a major.
Quickly.
That will not be a.
Quickly, did you see the new commercial of Lawrence and Travis Hunter?
Yeah, stop. They
2
need to
3
stop.
weeks ago?
Yeah, they need to stop. The Adidas commercial.
Christian, you know how much I watch football? It was the first time I saw it was Sunday.
Oh.
First time I saw it was Sunday.
888-760-3776. Number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. We go to New Jersey. Cologne to New Jersey. Welcome in, Cologne. How are you today? What's going on?
Hey, guys. No, a lot of teams embarrass themselves over the weekend. There's one team that keeps embarrassing every week and every year. That's the New York Jets. Okay? You know, guys, ever since week 1, they looked a little different, and then that fumble happened, and ever since then, is just getting worse and worse and worse. He cut Gibson for fumbling. Not everybody's fumbling. I think last week he scolded the team after the loss, and the team doesn't respond. I know he has the year, but he's making it really, really hard right now. Possibly a one and done. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm listening to his press conference. He makes it sound like every week the fumbling and the penalty, fumbling and the penalties. We correct this, we'll win the game. You know what? They're not going to. Even if they correct the fumbles and the penalties, he's not proving himself that he's a good coach. And Justin Fields, I don't know whether he's good or not. He hasn't thrown interceptions, which is great. But I don't think this team is any good, and the team also looks very defeated. Last week, I think Breece Hall said, we shoot ourselves in the foot and then we shoot ourselves in the head, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Against the Cowboys, trying to score two in the first half, trying to score.
Now, Cologne, let me ask you this: would you be in favor if this continues to spiral downward? Would you be in favor of making a drastically quick change, like for head coach of the New York Jets next year?
No, because I saw what happened last year. Last year we did that, and that team. You know what? Last year, okay, we got rid of the coach. Bad mistake, because we could have won some games down the stretch because of bad coaching. We did not, and the only reason why we were in those games was because of Aaron Rodgers. This year, I know what Aaron Glenn's trying to do is build a culture. It's now looking back, okay? His mistake was letting go, now returning, bringing back Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Appreciate the call, Cologne.
He might be onto something in the sense that they probably were the biggest disgraces just because they're the only defeated team left.
I've learned to accept it.
Dude, I cannot believe. My favorite scene in the NFL by any coach this year was Aaron Glenn doing the chicken dance in Tampa Bay, forgetting that Tampa Bay had 2 timeouts in minute 23 to go. I mean, you've said it. I've said it. How many times Cologne just said it? How many times after the game can Aaron Glenn say the same song and dance and not see a result?
How many times?
I'll listen to that.
And I'm not Aaron. I didn't like Aaron Glenn when he was doing coach interviews and then goes in and gives up 100 points in the playoff game against Washington.
Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying fire Aaron Glenn midseason or anything like that. I am with Cologne, though, to where if this team wins 2 or 3 games, I think a conversation might have to be warranted if you're going to bring this fella back. That's it.
888-760-3776. Who is your most embarrassing team of the weekend? Is it the New York Yankees? Is it the Penn State Nittany Lions? Is it the New York Jets?
We got to get to break, Kyle, but the Yankees, I mean, geez. Did they get off the plane?
Didn't even bother. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. Go start your day with a victory over at F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Check out their Instagram, F45 downtown West Palm Beach. It's perfect because it's a 45-minute workout class. So you show up, you can kind of turn your brain off, follow along in the instructions on the screen, what workouts you're going to be doing, and you and a bunch of like-minded fitness individuals with loud music and 2 coaches on site, you do the workout, and all of a sudden 45 minutes pass in a blink of an eye, and then all of a sudden you walk out there with your heart rate raised, you got your workout in for the day, you feel good, and it's more the functional side of working out. It's not like lifting the Olympic-style lifts. You feel stiff. You feel too sore. This is more about getting functionally stronger so you could do your day-to-day even better, more flexible, more mobile, and on the strength side of things. That's F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Check it out today on their Instagram. What we will do is we will bloop in the defenseman of the Florida Panthers, Seth Jones. He's going to be joining us on the other side of things, talk about a little Florida Panthers, which are opening up their season, the Stanley Cup Florida Panthers opening up their season tomorrow. Seth Jones coming up on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com. pbhnphysiciangroup.com to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Hurricane fans, October is coming in hot. Next up at Hard Rock Stadium is a Friday Night Lights matchup against Louisville on October 17th at 7 p.m. Then the Canes host a coast-to-coast game against Stanford on Saturday, October 25th. Lock in your seats now at MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets. That's MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets. And go Canes!
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Mondays just got better for the men of Palm Beach County. Unlimited Auto Wash is offering $5 off any wash every Monday at all 6 convenient locations. Men's Monday at Unlimited Auto Wash. Don't miss it.
The pink smoke is taking over South Florida. Listen to Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba and Inter Miami in their pursuit of an MLS Cup all season long right here on ESPN 106.3.
Messi, left foot, in on Guzan, tips it up and over, it's a goal! Lionel Messi is on the board!
Listen to it all on the ESPN South Florida app, brought to you by PNC Bank, Audi, and Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Catt. We're at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Looping in a new friend of show, a new friend of program. Now the new home, one of the new homes of the Florida Panthers, who are on their quest for a three-peat. We'd like to welcome in star defenseman for the Florida Panthers, who's acquired in the midpoint of last year, was a part of their Stanley Cup run this past year. And we're pleased to have him on. Seth Jones joins us. Seth, welcome in. How you doing today? What's going on?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good. How was your weekend? Did you have an entertaining weekend?
I sure did. Some bumps and bruises, but we're all good. We're ready to go.
Was it a lot, Seth? All right, Seth. I'm curious because let's get right into it. Lightning over the weekend, preseason bout. I mean, a record amount of players, 16 players ejected. It's the preseason, so I guess you can get away with it. You had guys fighting left and right. Give us a little bit of a man on the ground, boots on the ground situation. What went down over the weekend against the Lightning?
Honestly, I'm going to take the words out of Paul's mouth. It's just two old friends getting reacquainted this year. We're just two teams trying to get ready for the season. Obviously, some things happened in the playoffs last year, but I think we're all good now, and we're ready to go for the season.
And Seth, the Florida teams have really dominated representing, the Eastern Conference in that Stanley Cup. Just how, after getting inserted in that rivalry back in February, those are just two teams. You guys are just two teams that just don't like each other. Am I right on that?
I think we can all agree on that, especially after what transpired this weekend. I was definitely didn't realize, from the outside looking in, you're on a different team. You don't understand the intensity of the rivalry. And then, when you're put into it, even in a regular season game after, when I got here, you can just feel the game is a little bit different. The pregame, the way the guys are getting ready feels much more like a playoff game, a playoff atmosphere. We have met in the first round a few times in a row now. So there's definitely history there. Guys, you just naturally develop a competitiveness and a hatred for the guy across from you.
And does the team almost feel better in the locker room after you vent out all the frustrations you said from over the playoffs, whether it be on the hit on Barkov or whatever it might have been? You sort of vent out these frustrations preseason. Does everybody, both parties, just sort of move on with their lives after that?
I guess we'll find out, right? I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule that far ahead, but I don't know if you need to tune in. Who knows?
Seth, when you mentioned it, when you were acquired in the midpoint season, you were sort of thrusted into this Florida Panther, dynasty, so to speak. At this point, you weren't there for the first two Stanley Cup runs, at least to the final. Tell us a little bit about once you got there from Chicago. There was an obvious interest on your end to be involved with a contender. You got to one, and you sort of are thrust into this middle of this dynasty. Tell us a little bit about once you got there, how easy was it to acclimate with a bunch of guys who are in the quest of repeating where you're going for the first one on your personal end?
Yeah, I mean, it was very easy. When it just came to being at the rink, seeing how the guys operated, seeing how they, even going to the finals the last 2 years, losing one and winning one, you still saw how hungry they were every single day in practice, mid-season, how competitive they were, their will to get better, from the top down, from the coaching staff all the way to the players. And so when I got here, it's easy to really slot in, and you're just told to do your job at the end of the day. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the best at what I brought to the table and for this team. And when it came to the system, completely different system from a lot of really a lot of West Coast teams. The defense are made to gap up a little bit more here, and the forwards come back and track harder. So there's different systematic things that I struggle with maybe in the first couple of weeks, but did a lot of video with the coaches here, watched, obviously game reps are the best practice for that kind of thing. And so when it came playoff time, I was ready to go.
Seth, it sounds like the culture is really one of the big reasons, the team has been able to be successful. And it's not surprising because, Coach Paul, 25 years of NHL experience before coming to the Panthers, obviously the 2 Stanley Cups. I know you described a little bit there, but what's different about the Panthers and the way they do things from other stops you've been in the NHL?
Yeah, I can only speak for, say I'm coming from Chicago. I think there's a little bit more based on development. And so you're going to get teams that are a little bit more development based and not in that winning window, and then teams that are in that winning window. And so here in Florida, there's no development. You bring your game to the table, you do the system, and that's it. And if you don't do the system, you're probably not going to play. And that's told to you right from the very start, at least when I got here. But that's how everyone plays the game. Everyone plays hard. Everyone plays direct. And there's a certain style that we believe is winning style. And we believe that we play the best game that way. And so everyone's on the same page. There's not a guy that's trying to do his own thing. And that means a lot, especially in playoff time.
Seth Jones, defenseman, Florida Panthers, with us now on ESPN 106.3. Seth, going into now the quest to win 3 in a row if you're the Florida Panthers, you guys have a short offseason because you made that run into the postseason last year. You have a shorter offseason. You got to get back into the flow of things. You also don't want to you don't want to relish too much on what has happened, and now you sort of have to reset a little bit, especially with the injuries that the team have dealt with, Barkov and so to speak. Tell us a little bit about how you guys have reset. What has Paul Maurice told the guys? What have you guys said internally about, hey, understanding that we have an opportunity to go for 3, we have an opportunity to make history, but also we got to also start from completely square one?
Yeah, I think that was reiterated first day of training camp this year. Nothing is given in this league, and you got to earn it every single year, regardless of what happened the year before. And of course, the injuries now. We lost some key players offensively. Barkey, one of the best 2-way centers, and Matthew is brings a certain culture and a certain style to our play on the ice. And so, I think everyone has to get 10-15% better this year. Try to fill in those gaps as best we can, and be even harder, be even better. So 16 teams make the playoffs every year. Like I said, nothing's given to you. We're gonna have to earn that spot regardless of where we finish, and and earn a trip to the big dance. So, we have the ring ceremony tonight, the banner raising tomorrow before the game, and I think that kind of closes the chapter on of last year and really puts us in a position to focus on for what's to come.
Seth, speaking of this year, what's kind of been your main vocal point of what you want to improve on heading into the season?
I think just being consistent with my game. I think the first thing that a defenseman always has to think about is the defensive game, defensive side of the puck, keeping a good gap to the neutral zone, not making it easy on guys, being physical. I think playing with Mikkola, he's a great, big, rangy skating defenseman who's physical, has really helped my game. He pushed me to be better and to skate and stay alongside him. And then offensively, I mean, move the puck on the power play well, shoot the puck, be aggressive, just the little things that I think go a long way when it comes to a long season.
And Seth, you've had a fascinating career, and I'm more fascinated about the upbringing because obviously your father, Ronald Popeye Jones, played in the NBA. He was a all around the league, played an 11-year career and you and Caleb, your brother, went on to become professional hockey players. Not every day do you see a professional sort of getting the kids involved in a separate sport and then rising all the way through the ranks to the professional level. Tell us a little bit about how that started for you, because not only your kids growing up on the road following the professional side of things, but you didn't want to get on the hardwood. You wanted to get on the ice. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, growing up in Colorado, my dad finished with the Nuggets, and then we kind of settled down there. Avalanche were a very good team before the salary cap era. They were loaded. They probably have 10 Hall of Famers from those 1999 to '01, that range in there. And so was able to be at Game 7 when they won the Stanley Cup against the Devils. An unbelievable experience. I'm 6, 7 years old seeing that. And I'm sure it's very similar to the way youth hockey is growing here in Florida now with us winning the Cups. That's how it was in Denver back in the early 2000s. And so I was kind of caught in that mix of every kid in school wanted to play hockey. Every kid wanted to be Joe Sakic, wanted to be Haydu, or Peter Forsberg. And then Patrick Waugh was on that team. So there's just so many players and professional athletes to look up to on the hockey side of things that I was kind of caught in that. And so me and my brothers all started playing at the same time and really never looked back. I love basketball. I love watching it. I love playing pickup. I just never played organized.
Now, Seth, do you have a favorite moment of Dad being an NBA player growing up? Do you have like a game or a moment remembering Dad playing in the NBA?
Favorite moment? There was a highlight. Well, he played with Michael Jordan with the Wizards. One of when Jordan came back for a year or two, I think. So that was pretty cool. He has a pair of Michael Jordan shoes actually that are signed, and I've been trying to get him off him, but he's not giving them to me.
That's the last thing. Yeah, that's going to stay in the office.
Yeah. I gotta work him some more. But yeah, so that was pretty cool to see that. And then, I think just when I was old enough, I was like 10 to 12 years old. He was coaching the Mavericks. So I saw, Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd and a lot of these guys when I was at a young age, how they worked. You see them playing the games and see how hard they work, but you don't see behind the scenes. You don't see there's no days off. There's maybe 2 days off a week during the season, or sorry, a month in the season. You're traveling. And so me seeing that at that age really helped me understand what it was and what it would take to be a professional athlete. And so I'm not sure if I would be here today, along with Caleb, my younger brother. We'd still be playing professional sports.
And one thing about your father's career is he played in a number of different spots. You mentioned the Wizards, you mentioned Dallas, you mentioned Denver. Jumping around on the road like that, I mean, that's an interesting way to grow up, because are you bouncing around with him every single time, even if it's a year stop? How did you handle that growing up?
Yeah, so a lot of it happened when I was really young. So I think I lived in Toronto when I was 1 year old. Don't even remember that. Boston for maybe a year or two when I was really young. So there's a lot of it happened early. And then when he got traded to Denver is where he said, let's just settle down here. We love the city. We loved the mountains. And so that's where I was for about 8 years. And then ended up moving back to Texas when I was about 11 years old, 10 or 11. So finished my youth hockey career there. Went to U.S. program at 15. Was never home after that.
Said I gotta ask because I do it myself. But you ski? You ever ski growing up in Colorado?
As a kid, I did.
Okay.
And then when you get into hockey or sports,
They say
you don't
no.
want to mess
You
your knees
don't
up and
want to do
stuff.
it.
So
Yeah. Now
they
off.
tell you to stay away from skiing. That's the last thing you should do is ski.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
boats, no
I had
bikes,
to
none of
ask.
that.
I had to ask.
Yeah, no mountain biking, nothing.
Yeah, listen, it's a very.
That's an outdoorsy
It
place.
is. I was about to say it's
It
an
is.
active state, Seth.
Good
I've
golf
been
courses in the mountains.
Yeah.
my
I'll do
mom's
that
sister.
now.
She grew up. I grew up visiting them in Vail, so I do all that stuff
I
out
love
there.
Vail.
But when did you know you could be a professional hockey player? Like I like asking professional athletes this. Was there a time in your youth career or wherever you meant, hey, I'm a little better than everyone else, and maybe I could really make a living doing this?
Yeah, I think it was probably right before. I think it's happened so early now, but when I was 13 or 14, I want to say agents started popping up and scouts around the rink and things like that. Colleges start coming to you, which is kind of crazy at age 13 because you don't know what you want at that age. But that's kind of when you start to realize that, there's only a few kids that are talking to a team and you kind of get put in that group. And then, you go to the U40 camp or the US program when you're 15 and made that team. And you it kind of just happens. There's not really like one certain point where you realize it, but when you go to the US program is when it really all starts to take shape. International hockey starts coming into play. NHL scouts start talking to you and your agent. So it's just the little things like that happen along the path.
And the growth getting into hockey, you got to go through the youth programs, you got to play in the smaller leagues and everything like growing up. It's different than the usual circuit. Not everybody needs to play collegiately. Not everybody needs to do the different route. But tell me a little bit about that route comparatively to what I guess on the basketball side of things. It's completely different in age. I know it's changed a little bit, but give us a little bit of insight of what it takes really to work your way up to the highest level of the NHL.
Yeah, I think in other sports, it's just you go high school. You play at home, you play high school, you play college, and you go to the professionals. And I think in hockey, there's so many different avenues. 3 Canadian hockey leagues. You can go to Europe like Austin Matthews did and come back. You can go to college. Now you can start switching whenever you want. So it's crazy now. But there was only 2 ways that I could do it then. And so growing up, my parents were very pro college, get a degree, do the 4 years. And I toured a few schools my senior year of high school. And then WHL kind of came about, Canadian Hockey League. My goal was to play 1 year and go to the NHL. That was my goal. So I thought, 1 year of college may not be worth it for me. So I went to 1 year to Portland Winterhawks in the WHL, and then got drafted by Nashville and played that first year. So it all worked out for me. But I would never tell a kid to do that, right? Every path is different. There are late bloomers, there are kids that are ready to go at 18 or 19. So just all depends on the situation.
And Seth, segueing back to the Panthers a little bit, you mentioned home opener coming about just in about a day, the ring ceremony, all the glitz and glamour that comes with winning a Stanley Cup is sort of coming and going in the next 2 days. Tell me a little bit about what your favorite memory was from this summer, from the offseason of celebrating this Stanley Cup victory, and what you're most looking forward to next year.
Oh, man, that's tough. I will probably say the week after we won, just all the partying, being around the guys, celebrating.
Down
The
here,
parade
too.
was awesome.
Down
The
here,
par-
too.
Yeah.
This place is adequately suited for a Stanley
Yeah.
Cup celebration, if I may say
Right.
so myself.
The parade was awesome. 400, 500,000 people there on the beach, going down the A1A. It was just a beautiful sight to see. Just sharing that cup with the city, the fans, the people who had our backs. And so that was really the highlight for me is being a part of that. You always see it when other teams win, videos and all that, but being a part of it was something special.
And to build on that a little bit, I think the one thing that has happened, at least in this area, because of the resurgence of what the Florida Panthers have been, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, is hockey is really starting to make its footprint here in South Florida. And I think you got a sense of that, when Tampa Bay was really good, Tampa Bay sort of had a similar situation. But with these great organizations, hockey is very good at making a regional presence felt for the sport itself. Tell me a little bit about what you've noticed about coming to Florida from places like Chicago, Columbus, who have now started to really embrace the greatness of not only the Florida Panthers, but of the sport of hockey itself. Have you noticed anything specific about South Florida generally?
I have. I think when I was drafted, so 2013, and to see where it's came from there is such a dramatic difference, such a dramatic change, and obviously the new ownership and things like that, and the team getting better has helped. But um, it's a tough building to come in and play now. When I was in Chicago the last 4 years, 3 years, you did not want to come play Florida. You were getting banged, you were getting bruised up, you were getting hit, and so it was going to be a tough night. And then the crowd's loud, everyone's in your ear. It's just a tough game to play. So being on the other side of it's obviously much better. And so you understand that teams, they understand, they know it's going to be a tough night when they come and play at our building there in Sunrise, and so that's something that we use to our advantage.
Seth, you talked about it earlier in the interview, how, last year's in the past, we're focusing on this year. You got the home opener coming up. What's Coach Paul telling you guys in that locker room? What's the main thing right now as you guys gear up to, hopefully three-peat here in South Florida?
Well, it's a new year, new beginnings, new challenges. That's really the message. And like I'll go back to, we lost, our number one center, and we lost, Matt. And so everyone's got to really try to fill that void this year. There can't be any, stretch of games where we're not, at the top of our mental, shape really, and taking lapses mentally. So we know Bob's going to be big in net. We know we have a system, and we're going to play that system the best we can. But I think consistency is going to be the main thing for us this year, and trying to get as many points as we possibly can.
Seth, we appreciate you giving us the time. Appreciate you giving us a little bit of a rundown of how the last couple months have went, what you're looking forward to about the team, and giving us a little bit of background of over the weekend. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy the season, enjoy the ring ceremony, and get ready for a new start. A quest for three-peat starts now. Appreciate it, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. That's Seth Jones, Florida Panthers defenseman, joining us there on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. They got a big game coming up tomorrow against the Chicago Blackhawks, 5 p.m. They're going to get all the glitz out of the way, and then on to a new year, as Seth says. Appreciate him giving us the time. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo taking the time out in ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
During football season, keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today, kick off your game day comfort, and don't sweat the small stuff.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long-distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Gators fans, you still have 3 chances to catch Florida football live in the Swamp this season. Don't miss homecoming against Mississippi State on October 18th. Military Appreciation Day versus Tennessee on November 22nd. And Florida State for Senior Day on November 29th. Visit FloridaGators.com to get your tickets today.
In sports and in life, how you move matters. So when injuries or pain get in the way, the orthopedic specialists at HSS Florida provide world-class care to get you moving again. From non-surgical and surgical care to personalized rehabilitation, HSS Florida offers the same quality and expertise you expect from HSS, the world's #1 in orthopedic care. With 2 convenient locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida. Choose better, move better.
Touchdown!
Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia. Are you tired of the hassle of buying a car? At Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, we're changing the game. No pushy salespeople here, just friendly product specialists on salary here to help you find the perfect ride. With over 500 vehicles in stock and a goal to sell 250 by month's end, that means incredible deals are waiting for you. Forget the back and forth negotiations. Once you pick your dream Kia, you'll work with one manager the entire time, making decisions on the spot for a smooth, stress-free experience. We'll even handle the paperwork, your tags, insurance, and every detail. Need help learning all the features? We'll schedule a post-delivery session when it's convenient for you. And if you can't make it in, we'll bring a new Kia right to your home or office for a test drive. Plus, for a limited time, you'll see the factory invoice right on the windshield of every car in the showroom. Visit Greenway Kia today or shop online at GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
It's Thursday. New Hard Rock Bet rewards are dropping.
Nice. Ed Reed, you in?
The only thing I drop is receivers and mics.
Ed, we're talking bonus bets, deposit matches, parlay insurance.
Oh, okay. I'll do that kind of drop.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
It's Tina. You know how important it is to keep your car running. And when it comes to my car, I only trust St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been taking care of South Florida for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. Need new tires? They've got all the big brands. Battery issues? They've got it. Cars, trucks, boats, RVs, and even commercial fleets. And if you ever get stuck, their 24/7 roadside emergency service is a total lifesaver. Go see my friends at St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. They'll keep you going.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
The 5 p.m. hour of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, our pal Weston, and we got Christian Cat here at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. If you missed any of the show today, you want to listen back, go listen back in podcast format. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. You can catch it all in full format, commercial-free on that front. Also, 888-760-3776, number to get into the program. Who had the most embarrassing weekend on the sports side of things? New York Yankees? Penn State Nittany Lions, maybe out of a little bit of bowl contention in the college football playoff, but they can still qualify for other big bowl games like the Boca Raton Bowl. The 2025 Boca Raton Bowl. It's kicking off its 12th year this year. It's going to be Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium down in Boca. The game's going to air on ESPN. It's going to have two of the biggest and best teams from the group of five that are going to battle it out for their chance at the title. More information can be found at BocaRatonBowl.com. Follow along on Twitter at Boca Bowl and Facebook.com/Boca Bowl for more updates as we inch closer to the 2025 Boca Raton Bowl. That's Tuesday, December 23rd, Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat is our producer behind the glass today. Christian, hello. How are you? What's going on?
Depressed, sad, anxious,
you had a rough weekend.
Unhappy.
Rough weekend.
Everything that I like in sports just slapped me in the face over the weekend.
Christian, I cannot believe Penn State. You know I'm a Penn State
Yeah,
defender.
rank the worst
I
ones.
cannot,
The least painful was Ravens because it's NFL, a lot of games, no Lamar. That's okay. Can
I
get
agree with
distracted
that.
by everything else.
I agree with
Ravens
that.
loss is definitely bottom on the totem pole. And then I would say Penn State is the most painful. The Yankees won behind that. Penn
All right,
State.
so
really?
Penn State Yankees.
I'm surprised by that.
Penn State Yankees and then
Penn
Ravens.
State's season ended on Saturday, but the Yankees season didn't.
Well, if
they
you ask
lost their two road games.
If you ask Drew Aller, it didn't. Granted, ridiculous question, by the way. Whoever the heck that reporter was
Mike
needs to have
They
a
should have
filter.
doubled down when he
I
goes,
mean,
what do you think? I think
exactly.
you guys are done.
Jeez, oh, man.
Well, Mike, I thought
I
it
would've
was.
doubled down.
My God, and he asked
That was a
the-
layup. That was the balls on the tee for that one.
But, I don't know. The thing I can't get over, okay, you guys know me and my gripe, clock management, because I could do it at home. That's the one thing I can do from sitting on my couch is handle my timeouts and handle the clock.
You play Madden. That's all you need.
What was James Franklin doing before halftime?
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
a minute
ridiculous.
20. It was a minute 20 to go in that. You have 3 timeouts. You ran the ball 2 times. You didn't call a single timeout. Then you go hurry up to the line with 40 seconds left. James, you got 3 timeouts, brother.
They're getting pressure left and right.
and then
It's ridiculous.
you get sacked, and there's 20 seconds left. You still have 3 timeouts. Does James think he could take those into the second half? That was a disaster. That was a coaching disaster. Help me out with the last name, Jack.
Neuheisel.
Okay, his dad, by the way, CBS analyst, a former
Rick.
coach who was in the studio.
Coach UCLA.
He was in the studio during the game. And it was the first time his son ever called plays. The first time ever at any level of football. It was the first time he ever called offensive plays, and they beat James Franklin and Penn State. I like to defend Penn State because I am patented, by the way, Big Ten Mike. I defend the conference. I think it's the best conference in the country. But I cannot defend this. How are you a preseason number 2 and you're losing to one of the worst going into the weekend, guys? Into the weekend, UCLA was the worst Power 5 team in the country.
Who hadn't led for 1 second going into the game.
Unbelievable. It is just I don't want to
That's
hear
the nail in the coffin.
It is. And by the way, Penn State fan, if you want to fire James Franklin, $50 million buyout.
Yeah.
Not to mention the $700 million renovation that's going to be happening to Beaver Stadium that Christian's mentioned on this program before. Unbelievable. I cannot believe how bad they disgraced the conference this weekend. And yeah, their season is over. They'd be lucky to win 5 games at this point, honest to God.
Penn State's marquee win this year.
It wasn't Long Island. That was Florida.
The winners of the Shula Bowl, FIU Panthers. That's their best
38
win.
to what? 38 to nothing.
34-0.
Sorry, brother. Sorry.
Didn't
Pathetic.
cover. They have not covered any game this season.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's for a team that's returning everything. All right, here's the news for college athletics teams. Don't return your players from last year if you made the playoff. Clemson got burned by it. Now Penn State's getting burned by it.
Yeah.
Do not return
hang on.
your main players.
To be fair, cheater, pumpkin eater, Harbaugh returned the whole roster after TCU and they were stealing signs. But fair play. I understand the point. Now, I think Texas preseason number 1, Penn State preseason number 2. Both of them unranked.
Clemson was number 4.
All 3 of them unranked in week 6.
So why do we have rankings other than to draw up interest?
You say this all the time.
Yeah,
you say it all.
you can't even, you don't have a feel for them. You don't have a feel till you see them really play in conference play. You can't make a judgment on it. I agree. They're going to always have it, but you cannot make a judgment until you see these guys play.
We need government intervention. We need to take away the freedom of the press when it comes to doing polls.
Until week 6. Until
it's
this week.
irresponsible.
This week we can make our first poll. This week we can make our first poll.
Flat out libel. No, you are not crediting people for no reason, or you are crediting
And the teams that
for
get the benefit of the doubt when they get the early preseason poll, which turns out means nothing, it's harder to get them out of it and easier to get them back into the top 10 comparatively to a Texas Tech of the world who wasn't necessarily super lauded coming into the season, but now they got an uphill battle just to get into the top 10.
And if this is probably not going to happen, almost definitely not going to happen, if for some reason Ohio State just wets the sheets, have a horrible end of their season, and they're fighting to try to make the playoff, the fact that they beat at quote-unquote number 1 Texas is going to be implicit bias for Ohio State's case, even though if all things end final, Texas is not going to be a ranked team at the end of the season. So it is just, it's just dirty, dirty work.
Mike doesn't like hearing
I'm
this.
not worried. Guys, I am not
Well,
worried
no, Mike,
about the
this
Buckeyes
is just an
at all.
example. It's an
I
example.
understand it's an example.
That win is going to be unfairly represented in the grand scheme of things because Texas is not the best team in the country. Ohio State did not beat the best team in the country. We have come to realize. They beat the team that we thought could have been the best team in the country.
Who stinks.
But comparatively, the Buckeyes are playing good football. So I'm
That's
not
all
worried
right.
about
That's
it. I'm
right,
not.
but I'm saying that should not count in their favor
fine.
as it is a win against Georgia or Tennessee.
We don't need to judge resumes.
But
They
last year,
they just don't have a great resume.
Last year, regular season, Ohio State had a top 3 resume in the country. It changes by year. And that's something you are right about. As someone who wants 4 automatic Big Ten and SEC teams, then I understand.
This is where you'd be looking around and you'd be like, who?
I get it.
Who?
I get it.
I mean, you'd be got Oregon, and then you got Ohio State. Michigan getting that?
I get it, but there are a ton of teams out there. I think Miami. I think Miami.
Indiana.
Christian, if we're going to do this with the Buckeyes.
Let's talk about the automatic qualifiers.
Oh, I was going to say, who did Oregon beat?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Good point.
And they're number 2 in the country.
Oregon is beating nobody.
Exactly. They're number 2 in the country. But we could do this with Oregon. We could do this with a lot of teams. You could do it with Miami. Notre Dame stinks. Spare me on that. They stink. 30 points at home.
I agree.
To
Notre
Purdue.
Dame's not nearly as
stink.
good as they were, but that game's going to mean something.
Florida. Listen, if Texas stinks, Florida State. Like that's why you got to take everything with a grain of
The
salt.
SEC is different because everybody beats
salt.
each other. That
Agreed.
doesn't happen in the Big Ten nearly as much.
Agreed.
Usually the 2 tops beat everybody, and everybody else is sort of fending for
Agreed,
themselves.
but I feel like the top heaviness of the Big Ten has proved that it's very good the last 2 years with Ohio State and a cheating Michigan. But at the same time,
conference has not had a good year, though.
It hasn't. And I've told you that on this program. The top teams in the conference are Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. After that, there's a big gap.
Huge.
There is a big gap.
USC is getting underrated here.
But they lost to Illinois at Illinois.
That was,
and Illinois lost by 53 points.
Transitive property all you want. But, USC is getting a little unfairly rated.
You want to know who I had an issue
with? It's too early.
Dude, you want to know who I had an issue with this weekend was Florida State. How aren't you ready to play that game?
I agree.
How aren't you ready to play that game?
Extra day of rest coming in. You're coming off a bad loss on the road. You need the game. You're at home. It's a packed crowd. It's a night game, and they lay an egg.
And I felt bad for those fans because they were in it in the fourth quarter. And you want to know what I told my buddies? I said, hey, Mike Norvell, have your team ready to play the first 3 quarters of the game at home. In my opinion, what did we say all week last week, boys? We said that was a must-win for Florida State.
Yeah, that's why I thought they'd play well. I was wrong on that. I thought they'd play well. That team's just not that good.
And can I tell you can I tell you the real reason why it's grinding my gears is because it was the last leg of the parlay. It was the last leg of the parlay. By the way, Buckeyes are free money. They've covered. I've made hundreds of dollars with my good friends
Bet against
of
Wisconsin.
Hard Rock Bet.
Bet
They're
against Wisconsin.
free money.
Bet against
By the way, the
Wisconsin
Ohio
makes
State
some
spread.
money.
Okay?
Bet against Wisconsin.
Free money outside unless you're playing the mighty Ohio Bobcats. This is old. Okay, but yeah, Florida State absolute disgrace. They needed the game. They didn't show up to the fourth quarter. Mario tried pulling a Mario in that fourth quarter, blowing the game. They never were going to blow the game.
They were never in that much
But my
danger.
God, can you? Hey, Miami, can we get a first down? Can we end this game? It's 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, they've been weird about that. Miami's been weird about that all year. They had a
Can you end the game?
They had a weird third quarter against Florida where they didn't want to put them away. Notre Dame, they had a great first half, bad second half where they didn't necessarily want to put them away. That's been a recurring theme about Miami that they're going to have to fix. But the good news is they got that game out of the way. Now you enter into conference play where you're still not leaving the state of Florida until November 1st. And you can sort of work out these kinks.
And I think talent-wise, which means nothing, okay? Talent-wise, the 2 best rosters in the country are Miami and Ohio State. But the biggest thing in college football right now is no one is clearly 10 times better than the next team. There's no Nick Saban.
It's open this
There's
year.
no Kirby Smart. Last year, Ohio State might have blew games, but Ohio State was the best team in the country all year long.
It's an open year for sure.
Correct.
There's no doubt about that.
So, the SEC in particular, the SEC is full of Indianas, where they're good teams and they could win any given Saturday. I don't know how much better Alabama is than Georgia. I don't know how much better Auburn is than Mississippi State. That's why the SEC is so much fun to watch. You saw it with Florida and Texas.
Yeah. Because it's weird because one week you see Mississippi State take Tennessee to overtime and they go into Texas A&M and the game completely changes. It's been a very bizarre year for the SEC, but that's sort of been what you'd expect. The middle of the pack is that much more dangerous comparatively. And Vanderbilt didn't even play a bad football game. It was the quarterback, Diego Pavia, who threw the game away for Vanderbilt. It wasn't necessarily the team. It was the quarterback.
That was the mortal lock, by the way. Alabama at home, Ohio State.
They didn't cover, did they?
Yeah, it was 12.5. There was 11.
They didn't win by 12.
Sorry, it was 11.5.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah,
they won by 9.
They won 30 to 14.
Guys, it was a 9-point game.
They won 30 to 14. What planet are we on here?
Did they score late?
Yes, they won the game 30 to 14.
I'm going to double check that. I remember watching that game throughout the end of it, and it was after that Pavia interception that I flipped it out.
We are on wrong planets. You are right, Mike.
Thank you. Guys, the team that didn't cover.
But hold on. I mean, it was a late cover. They were in that game in the end of the
mortal lock, baby. We're counting money over here. Right. But what I'm saying is I didn't win that money.
Pretty well in that game.
I didn't win that money because of Florida State. They were the last leg. And I'm a phony.
They almost covered at the end if they didn't play the smart way.
And I'm a phony. Because I said I like the Cubs, I ended up taking the Brewers. I had a late switch, which usually doesn't bode well when you're betting.
Mike, they covered with 17 seconds to go. Talk about a backdoor. Wow.
Mortal lock. The mortal lock
that's
for
a
Mike.
Crazy
Hang
cover.
on. The mortal lock for Mike Rizzo on Saturday tailgate was Alabama at home, and people are cashing their checks.
Jam Miller, 20-yard rush with that 17 seconds to go. Wow.
So all y'all turned the game off, and I'm the idiot.
That's how Kalen DeBoer wins the boosters back.
Yeah.
You got to cover the spread at the end. We don't need to.
DeBoer.
They're raising
money.
You want to
know? Hey,
they're raising money for his buyout.
Hang on. We talk about the NFL being a week-by-week league. Minga. College football, DeBoer was on the chopping block. They were on to run that guy out of town.
All right.
Wins against Georgia.
You were like
wins
that.
against Alabama.
You were like that.
I was not like that.
You were. You wanted to fire DeBoer before you even walked in the building.
That was not true. I said
totally
the
true.
fans
We
do.
can find that.
You can find it because all I said was the fans were ready to run
that's
him
your
out.
opinion masquerading as the fans.
Absolutely not.
Nonsense.
Absolutely
Mike's
not.
dead wrong there.
Now
Mike's dead wrong there.
I was
Mike's dead wrong there. Mike
Day,
wanted DeBoer out of town because he wasn't Nick Saban. The guy's not Nick Saban.
The only stuff you actually have of substance of me wanting to run a coach out of town was Ryan Day when he lost to Michigan last year.
You're dead wrong there, too.
Okay.
You wanted him ran out of town.
That's the only time. That's the only time.
Alabama beating Vanderbilt at home is not having Coach DeBoer re-upping his lease.
I mean, winning at Georgia and then coming back and winning a ranked game, which, I mean, for God's sakes, guys, game day was there. What a waste of time. Why the hell was game day and
where should they have been? UCLA?
No, they should have been at that Miami and Florida State game.
That game stunk.
But still, it was the better matchup.
That game stunk.
We all thought that those phonies Florida State was going to show up.
Been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accent Attorney Studios. They fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back. They could get yours too. And don't settle for any attorney when you're making these decisions. Demand the best. Demand Anajar and Levine because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. Take that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation today. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. 5 and 5 coming to you on the other side of things. Stay tuned for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
This Halloween, the scariest thing on your team shouldn't be your books. Don't be scared. Jay Zolo and Associates is here to exercise your bookkeeping nightmares. With QuickBooks Online and expert care, let Jay Zolo bring your books from RIP to MVP. Let the only skeletons you deal with be the ones in costumes. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Time now for the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. Every Player of the Week is eligible to win a scholarship at the end of the year. This year, a $25,000 scholarship will be awarded to an athlete, with $10,000 going to the winner's high school athletic department. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond. Here's Cade Chumsland.
Our Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week is South Fork Golf senior Luke Harrigan. Luke is the number 3 player in the state at Class 2A. He's also leading the Bulldogs to the number 1 ranking at that class. And with all this success, he still finds a way to have a good time.
You know, just trying to get better, obviously, every day, and then just, you know, main thing is just having fun, you know. Like, even with the team, it's just blast out coming out here playing every day, so.
Congratulations, Luke, on being selected this week's Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week. Good luck to you and the rest of the Bulldogs on the remainder of the season.
Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Joshua S. Jew, who operates out of Good Samaritan Health Center through the Palm Beach Health Network, and he explains how Florida is in the stone belt when it comes to being at risk to developing kidney stones.
There's a 1 in 10 risk of having kidney stones. Down in the stone belt, which is the southern part of the United States, especially the southeastern part of the United States, that risk is even higher. A lot of that's due to dehydration, which is probably the biggest risk factor for kidney stone formation, as well as diet. Having high oxalate-rich foods can predispose to stone formation risk. Florida is right in the middle of the stone belt, so a much higher risk of having stone disease here.
That was Dr. Joshua S. Jew from the Palm Beach Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
I hate to say this, but I have never practiced with the headset in terms of like the button to talk to the quarterback. So there's like multiple times during the game I'm calling the play, but the headset's flipped up because I'm used to being a position coach. And then all of a sudden I'm pressing the wrong part of the button trying to talk to him. Like it was a mess. Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up by next week.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, our pal Weston in the studio at the City Place in downtown West Palm Beach. The important part about working out and getting into shape is, yes, doing the work physically, getting up in the morning, making sure that you do it consistently. But on top of that, it's all about the nutrition and supplementation that goes into getting yourself into better shape. Vitacost Sports Marketplace, it's open, it's available, it's built for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who like to train hard. They want to understand the benefits of what clean supplementation and nutrition can do for your body. Whether you're prepping for a triathlon, grinding at the gym, trying to be a little bit more health conscious, Vitacost is your go-to for leveling up your game. They have their new Sports Marketplace, which has over 400 plus performance-enhancing substances and products that are all certified, which means they're free of any banned substances you don't know. You know that there's no funny business going on. That's Vitacost.com/sport-certified to make that purchase today. Use the code ESPN20 for 20% off. That's ESPN20. Level up your game at Vitacost. All right, let's get to it. Let's bounce around. Let's do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Number 1.
Well, we've covered a lot of the football over the weekend already, but there is playoff baseball going on. Blue Jays with a 1-game lead. Vladimir Guerrero at the dish with a 5-0 Blue Jays lead over the Yankees. Bases loaded, 1 out. A 5-0 lead turns into a 9-0 lead. The Blue Jays cruise to a blowout win at home to send the series back to the Bronx and a 2-0 lead. With football occupying a lot of the headspace of a lot of people over the weekend, what was the biggest thing that stood out from the baseball diamond?
The Dodgers are once again a force to be reckoned with. I got to give Shohei Ohtani a little bit of credit. He had a terrible game at the plate. Couldn't hit anything. Couldn't hit the baseball with an oar if he had one. But that's why he's so dangerous, is because he's on the mound, and outside of a bad second inning where he gave up 3 runs on a triple, outside of that, he was pretty locked down. And he gave them 6 innings. That's exactly what they were looking for. That was tied for his longest start of the season. And he was pretty unfazed. I give Ohtani and the Dodgers credit because it really is somebody else every game. Teoscar Hernandez one day. It's going to be Kike Hernandez the other day. Mookie Betts. Freddie Freeman's going to have his moment. It's going to be Shohei again. Tommy Edman. Muncy. It's somebody else every single day with them. That is why they are dangerous. And then tonight, when they have Blake Snell going, and then they bring Clayton Kershaw out of the pen, and then they go to Duran to finish off the game. Then they go to Sasaki to finish off the game. You're going to be looking around thinking, now what? Dodgers are a big force, and on the other side of things, I'll say this really quickly. Aaron Judge, empty statistics. If there is a definition of empty playoff statistics, there's a picture of Aaron Judge next to it. His playoff stats this postseason have looked good. They are not good. Every high-leverage situation, especially including that 6th inning, down 2-0 against the Blue Jays against Gausman's last batter, 5th or 6th inning, I believe it was the 6th. And he had bases loaded, 3-2 count, no outs. Jeez.
Right.
Goodbye. That was pathetic. It's one of the worst swings and misses you saw the whole postseason. That is what Judge has been. Terrible.
23-8. You got outscored in Toronto, 23-8.
Could be 100-8. Doesn't matter. It's
and
only 2-0.
They don't have Bo Bichette. They don't have Scherzer. They don't have Chris Bassett. You got to give them a lot of credit.
I do. And I said the Blue Jays weren't going to be ready for the moment. All the Blue Jays have done in the last, 20 years is fall on their face when it comes to the playoffs after winning back-to-back. You got to give them credit here, man. You got to give them credit here. Gausman was great going 5.2. Yazavage, I always say that wrong. He was great as well.
Yazavage.
Thank you. He was great as well. I think the story, though, of baseball has been the Tiger and Mariners series and how good that's been. How about the big dumper, leadoff double in the 8th, and then Julio Rodriguez banging them in and making a 3-2 lead that they never relinquished after that. That was a fun baseball game last night. I was multi-boxing Sunday Night Football and Mariners and Tigers. I think that's probably going to be the juiciest series.
That's probably going to be the 5-game series.
I will remind Yankee fan, they were down 0-2 to the Indians, who won 22 games in a row, and they ended up winning the series.
Number 2.
AL Central team. I mean,
stop it. 22 games in a row
you
coming off a World Series. We were
I saw it the other weekend. I don't
How many
have
of
it.
those games
Christian, that was the best team in baseball that year.
All of the Yankees' success have been against the AL Central in the postseason. Outside of that, they've been remarkably under average.
Well, that was the one year where it's the AL Central. You can't say that because we were the best team in baseball. Next.
How many of those 22 wins were against the AL Central? I'm just kidding.
Number 2.
Let's go to basketball. Why? Well, because LeBron James did something. Why, of course. 3 hours ago, LeBron James took to X and probably all other social medias. He posts the decision of all decisions, period. October 7th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Hashtag the second decision. That is tomorrow at noon. We will apparently get hashtag the second decision. And the video that he posts along with it is him sitting across from a reporter about to sit down. What are the chances this is just an advertisement deal?
40.
Only 40?
I'll give it 40.
You think that this is real news?
I didn't say that.
It's real news. I do. I think it's real news.
That's not something they have to pay him a lot of money, and LeBron makes a lot of money already.
Come on.
It's real news.
Beats.
I'm telling you, dude.
Popeyes. I think he does Popeyes with Kevin Hart. But, I mean, like, all the commercials he does, I know he does Sprite. If all that, he does Uber Eats, I think, too. They'd have to pay him an unholy amount of money just to get him to throw that out there, because that decision thing is a big marketing tool for LeBron.
I think he might be retiring.
You think this is news?
I do. I think
Hell
he might.
no.
I think he might be retiring at the end of the season. That's what I think. That's my best guess. I actually think this is news. All this for what? A commercial? Maybe a part ownership of a team? My best guess is he's retiring. I don't think you do a decision part 2. Remember how bad? I remind you guys, too, how bad the first decision was. How many times has LeBron said, God, I did that wrong? I wish I could redo that.
At the Greenwich Club in Connecticut, and he did it sitting there. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Mike only dislikes it because Mike was not the beneficiary of that decision.
I was 14 years old, Sammy Nieiser's house. My friend John and Strong's and I cried for 2 hours to the point where they called our mothers and we had to go home. 14. Cried my eyes out. Dude, I'm telling you, it's news and it's of substance because of how bad the first one was. Are they really going to do a giant commercial for Decision Part 2? I think this is him making right on something on the. I don't know.
What if he's
stand
going back
by
to
what I
Cleveland?
said. I stand by what I said about how bad the first one was. This has to be something.
Season
of
starts
substance.
in 2 weeks. He's gonna go back to Cleveland now.
No, it's
I
not
don't
even
know.
go back to Cleveland.
I know that.
I think I think he's going to announce his retirement in some capacity.
This is either a brand deal or I agree with Mike, either announcing his retirement. That's what I would say.
We also
Announcing it
have
last year, I should say.
reports from the ESPN West Palm cubicles. Apparently tomorrow is National Taco Day. He's a big Taco Tuesday proponent.
Oh, God.
This is tomorrow?
I am a LeBron guy. You guys know how much. If this is all for some godforsaken taco.
I wonder how much money he got for that.
He's
Because
gonna get a Taco Bell Crunch Box.
He doesn't need that much money. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need the money.
But money can't buy getting your face on a promotional fast food item. That's status. Glorilla has a Checkers
The
meal.
Lebraco or whatever, and it's like a
It
taco with
went
LeBron's
so
face
poor.
on it.
The first decision went so poor.
You're only saying
there
that
is
because
no
you're from
way.
Cleveland.
That is not true.
But
David
Mike-
Stern, one of the best commissioners of all time, said it was a complete and utter disaster.
What it did,
All right, Dan Gilbert, pipe down.
is it villainized LeBron and the Heat. It gave them a good target.
But also,
board for
it
the
was a
NBA.
disaster.
And Mike, your
Who
rationale
thinks
is
this
telling
is a
me
good
it's-
Miami Heat fans didn't think that was a good idea.
So
They're
you-
happy he was on the team. It was a miserable idea to do that.
So you think this is a fake announcement then?
I think it's of substance because you wouldn't call it. He wants to make right on how bad the first one went.
But having real news come from the hashtag second decision is the same thing as the first decision. Delivering real news
But I think
with a
it's
scheduled TV appearance.
That's why I think it's a retirement. That's why I think it's got to be nothing else but a retirement.
This is going to be a bait. This is definitely either a bait for retire. It's a bait.
If it's a taco commercial, I'll low-key be upset.
I'll go.
I love LeBron. That guy walks on water for me. I'd kind of be upset if it was a taco commercial.
You want him to retire?
It's not that I want him to retire. It's just
It's a little self-centered. It's a lot self-centered.
The decision part 2. I mean, it's kind of a big deal, no? All that for a taco?
That's the joke. It's like Drew Brees pretending he got struck by lightning.
I'm now 70-30 in favor of advertisement. I've changed my mind. I think
Number 3.
Talked a lot of sports today. Hear this from Mount Everest. Nearly 1,000 climbers are stranded on Mount Everest after a blizzard struck its eastern slopes on the Tibet side. The good news is 350 people, they're safe. They got evacuated safely, but most remain stuck. Colin, what was your percent chance of going to Mount Everest as your next venture?
Well, this is
and
what-
has it changed
You're not
after
doing
getting
Everest.
this news?
You're not doing Everest.
I'm not climbing Everest. First
All
of
right,
all,
good.
climbing
Not with that
Everest.
mindset.
If the only thing I would ever do is I'd go to base camp. And base camp is like its own journey in of itself, and it's doable, and you can get in and out, and it's a little less. But the thing about Everest is everybody's very upset with how people have handled it, and there's like a 1 in 4 kill rate. Like the people
how
don't
about
survive
this?
that.
How about this? Instead of risking our lives and going to Mount Everest,
I'm not saying you have to.
what I'm saying is, instead of Colin risking his life and climbing Mount Everest, how about we just go to Vegas? Kid's never been to Vegas.
I don't want to go to Vegas.
Yeah, you do.
What's fun in Vegas?
No, we can risk our lives
you
in
kidding me?
Indianapolis instead.
I've heard Vegas has lost a little bit of juice because it's too priced out. Am I wrong by that?
You're wrong.
You can
Dead
do
wrong.
everything that you
Dead
can do in
wrong.
Vegas.
Outside
in
of Vegas now
here.
because
Yeah.
all the gambling books are outside of Vegas.
You guys clearly haven't been to Vegas the right way then.
I heard that Vegas has lost its touch.
You're
On
dead wrong.
entertainment enhancement, is that what you're saying?
Dead
Like-
wrong. We'll go to a show. We'll go to the we'll go to the Encore Beach Club at the Wynn. Play a little blackjack at the Bellagio.
Sounds like a waste of time.
It is not a waste of time.
Sounds like a total waste
And
of time.
then once your godforsaken athletics, set up camp there,
I'm not
you're gonna
going.
have to go.
I'm going to road games only.
Dude, it is just so close-minded to say you hate Vegas when you've never been there. That's my issue.
Vegas is a waste of time.
I say I hate New York, but I've never been to New York. I know nothing about the city. It's probably a great time.
I know enough about
I hate
Vegas
the New York
to make
sport
a
fan. That's it.
declaration that it stinks.
No, you've never been there. You cannot make that declaration.
I know people that have been there.
See what I deal with.
Go ahead.
Number 5.
The Mariners won their first playoff game since 2001 last night. It was a thriller. It was a fun game. Like you said, Mike, I was double screening the same thing.
Yeah, we'll multi-box.
I don't like how they set up multi-box. You should be able to do picture-in-picture and then control the size, by the way. A fan was recorded crying tears as the final out was recorded. Is it fair to cry after winning one postseason game in the divisional series?
How old was this fan?
This was an adult.
So, and he was wearing a Savannah Banana hat, believe it or not. Christian,
I have no problem with it. You're attached to your sports team. You wanted to get a win. You saw it in your
fine
home
with it,
building.
'cause
You
you want
probably
to know
spent a lot of
why?
money.
The Browns have never had a home playoff game in that godforsaken stadium. If they won a home playoff game in said godforsaken stadium, I probably would cry.
Yeah, but
I probably would cry.
No, but again, it's different
admit it.
because that's advancing to the next round. Every playoff win in football is advancing to the next round. This is tying the series up where home field was always stolen from you from the Tigers.
You also, you think, all right, well, we've given ourselves a chance here, right? It was a close game. You're almost going down 0-2. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
That was a 5-5% by Flagler Credit Union.
He did have a Savannah Bananas hat on and shedding tears.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that.
I cannot get away from the damn Savannah Bananas.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Men, games aren't won on Friday night. They're won Monday through Thursday.
You find out life's this game of inches.
It's about preparation, it's about discipline, and it's about showing up ready to dominate.
That's gonna make the difference between winning and losing.
And now, your game plan for greatness. Brought to you by Men's Only Medical. Visit mensonlymedical.com.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go play some football. Let's go.
Folks, this is Game Plan for Greatness brought to you by Men's Only Medical, your one-stop shop concierge healthcare service here in West Palm Beach. Go see my good friend Doc Al over on North Dixie Highway. That is Men's Only Medical. Folks, game plan for greatness, where we come up with a game plan for the teams playing on Monday Night Football. Now, Colin, I'll handle the Chiefs side because you're our household Jag fan. For the Chiefs, I think it's do what you... Mahomes, for the first time in a long time, had a Mahomes game the last time the Chiefs played. I mean, 300 yards, multiple touchdowns. The game against the Ravens, he was brilliant. Let's see Patrick Mahomes be the Patrick Mahomes of old again on the road in Jacksonville. Colin, I know we picked the Jags to cover the game. I'm starting to get a little worried because I think the Chiefs are hitting their stride. My game plan for greatness for the Kansas City Chiefs is let's see that Patrick Mahomes that we saw against the Baltimore Ravens.
As for Jacksonville, this is a very tricky, nerve-wracking game because Jacksonville's a little beaten up, especially at defensive line. They're going to have Josh Hines-Allen, but Trayvon Walker, who's the former number 1 overall pick, who has had a terrific season, had a wrist surgery about a week ago, and he is going to either play with a club. He was able to practice on Friday, but he's either going to play with a club, basically like a battering ram, a whole cast as his left hand, or he's not going to go tonight. Some people have said it doesn't look good that he's not going to play. I think that hurts Jacksonville quite a bit because the key to beating Mahomes, ever since Mahomes has entered the ever since he entered the league, you got to get to him. You get him on the ground. The Buccaneers showed it that first game that we saw Mahomes really bleed in the football sense. You get to Mahomes, you have a chance to win the game. Defensively, if they do not get to Mahomes, they have no chance of turning him over, and they have no chance of, turning them over, period, unless they get to him. That's step number 1. Step number 2, offensively, Jacksonville is going to need to run the football and protect Lawrence. They do those two things, I think they have a decent shot. Now, the wide receivers need to catch passes, and I need to not deal with 5 drops tonight, because if it happens, and it will, it will drive me absolutely crazy. Lawrence is erratic. Keep the game out of his hands as much as he possibly can. And if you can control the game on the ground, control time of possession, and get to Mahomes, can win the line of scrimmage both sides. Jacksonville leads the league in most snaps taken while leading in the whole league. And on the other side of things, defensively, they are the only team in NFL history to have 3 takeaways in 4 straight games. I do not anticipate that to happen again. So because of that, don't give the game to the Chiefs. Make them take it. We are going the ultimate play not to lose, not play to win. That's how you beat the Chiefs tonight.
Kansas City, I cannot see them going 2-3. And it's about time the Jags start losing games because...
I mean, it's about time.
The Browns...
You've had enough after 4 weeks?
The Browns have the first-round pick of the Jags this
year.
You're
rooting against Jackson.
As bad as it is, I don't have ill will towards Jacksonville. But
you want a good draft pick.
Yeah, man. God forbid. The one year the Jags are going to be good, it's going to be the year my team has their first-round draft pick. It makes a ton of sense, but...
Jaguars need to go 1-2 in their next 3.
Can Travis Hunter get in the end zone? Can we see him do something of substance on the offensive end?
I'm not worried. Yeah, I agree. You're going to need to see something eventually.
Right?
It's the perfect opportunity to see something tonight.
Colin, and you watch the Jags more than I do, brother. I just feel like I haven't seen him do anything great yet.
No. He's learning.
I've not seen Travis Hunter be that second pick overall and best non-quarterback in the draft yet. That's my gripe. As a football fan, put the draft pick aside that,
Just like when the Packers weren't the best defense in the NFL after week 2, Travis Hunter is not a bust after week 5.
There you go.
That was our game plan for greatness presented by Men's Only Medical. Stick around because we're going to have some more Monday Night Football preview coming up on the other side of things. We got you up until 7 p.m. today because we got the 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet coming to you right after this. Jaguars and the Chiefs in Jacksonville. Home game for Jacksonville, sitting at 3-1. There's a namesake victory that Jacksonville can get to their name. It would be this week. It would be tonight. Listen to the Al Pacino speech on Any Given Sunday if you want to get fired up. That's how I feel about that game. We also have some baseball. We've got a lot more to do next hour. Stick around. Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Back-to-back champs. The Florida Panthers run the NHL, and now they run your radio. Evan Cohen here to announce that you can hear the defending champions right here on ESPN 106.3 and on the brand-new ESPN South Florida app. The Cats are kings, and this is their throne.
In sports and in life, how you move matters. So when injuries or pain get in the way, the orthopedic specialists at HSS Florida provide world-class care to get you moving again. From non-surgical and surgical care to personalized rehabilitation, HSS Florida offers the same quality and expertise you expect from HSS, the world's #1 in orthopedic care. With 2 convenient locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida. Choose better, move better.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the Florida Atlantic MBA in Sport Management program. When you think of successful teams in the NFL, the New England Patriots are certainly at the top of that list. Well, that success is getting even more lucrative on the dollars side. Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, who bought the team for $172 million in 1994, is agreeing to have 2 buyers cut a deal to buy an 8% stake in the Patriots. This will now make the Patriots team valuation at $9 billion. More money for the Patriots. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the Florida Atlantic MBA in Sport Management program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The Florida Atlantic MBA in Sport Management program.
Fall in Florida means one thing. It is almost time for the Clinics Can Help Golf Classic. This fun-filled event works to raise money to provide customized medical equipment and supplies to the many children in our area in need. Get your foursome together and join the festivities on Friday, October 24th at the exclusive East Point Country Club in Palm Beach Gardens. Make a difference in helping these children live a life of independence and dignity. Register today at clinicscanhelp.org.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're gonna be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Anna Jar and Levine.
Call 1-800-7473. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio
The
station.
following is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during this program are solely that of the hosts or guests of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
Yeah, here we go.
2 hours are not enough.
And that'll do it for regulation.
Welcome to the 5th quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Take this one to overtime.
Russo and Rizzo bring you the stories, the takes, and the breakdowns that go beyond the final whistle. We head into overtime. The 5th quarter starts now.
It's the 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. We got Christian Cat. We're at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm, where we got a good Monday Night Football Matchup tonight between Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is going to be an 8:15 ABC ESPN with Joe Buck and Aikman on the call. Kansas City's favored by about 3.5 points. Depends where you look. And Jacksonville's at home, 3-1. Kansas City had their get-right game against a Baltimore team that has been terrible. Just keep this in mind. I'm a little confused. But Kansas City last week against Baltimore had a get-right game. They've been okay.
Yes.
Jacksonville, on the other hand, has had, good wins, ugly wins, an ugly loss. They're the only team to lose to Jake Browning. So, I mean, that will be the stain on their resume.
But I'll give the Jags some credit here. That was something that happened mid-game, maybe threw a wrench into things, but that's a game you got to win. And you mentioned last show, too, that the Jags have led the most.
Basically for the entire season.
Right. So, everyone expects the Jags to be in this game. I actually like the 3. Colin and I are on the plus 3.5 with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet with the Jags tonight. And I think that's a line that they could cover. I do. And I know Patrick Mahomes kind of looked like the Patrick Mahomes as of old. And I think when it comes to Kansas City, that team beats I think that team goes as far as Mahomes goes. And listen, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's a multi-Super Bowl winning quarterback. But I think it's really important for them to be on the right foot with him tonight. Now, he's doing it with a bunch of receivers that stink, in my opinion, and Juju Smith-Schuster and company.
Thornton's not bad.
I think Worthy's coming back tonight, too.
He's questionable.
So that's something to look out for. But an intriguing matchup. I think maybe one of the better matchups we'll have on a Monday in recent weeks, because the Tampa Bay, remember what was the doubleheader? It was Tampa Bay and Texans. That was a good game.
Yeah.
And then there was a stinker with the Chargers and the Raiders.
Yeah, and then they had the doubleheader last week with Denver and the Bengals. Which stunk.
And that was
then you had Jets Dolphins, which was a decent game.
But those are two teams that aren't making the playoffs. Like, this is a juicy matchup. I can't promise you that Jacksonville's going to make the playoffs, but they're 3-1. They
win this game, they're in a really good position to make the postseason.
For sure. And the division, I know Indianapolis is better maybe than expected, but
if you walk away from this game and Jacksonville wins, you're going to be looking at Jaguars playing the Colts twice in 4 weeks at the end of the year. You're going to look at that as the deciding factor of the AFC South. Mm-hmm. That's where you start to look at that.
Totally.
So I'm, as a Jaguar fan, I am hesitant about this because I actually anticipate Jacksonville not to win this game. I'm still going to be pissed off if they don't win. Because if there's a game to sort of just stamp your footprint on the NFL, this is your opportunity to do so. And if there's an opportunity to show, of all the brand new coaches, the first-year coaches, of who has done the best, I mean, look no further than what Liam Cohen has done. And that team still has a lot of issues offensively specifically. But if they're able to conjure something up, get Brian Thomas Jr. back into the fold of things, get Travis Hunter involved.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter makes 2 plays a week, 2 big plays a week, maybe 1 offense, maybe 1 defense. You never know. Outside of that, he is not a consistent contributor because he is learning both sides of the ball at the same time, and it is evident that he's a little behind. There is no doubt about that. But for Jacksonville to have all those issues, the drop issues, they lead the league in drops, with Travis Hunter not being an immediate and a conclusive boom product immediately, for Lawrence being erratic, and they still have only trailed for a couple minutes all year, that to me
it's coaching.
That's indicative of, hey, I mean, it could be a lot worse right now, and they're only going to get better, which is why that's the optimist side of me.
If anything, I think it's coaching. And I know it's the first 4 games, and the book will be out there on Cohen too, and what he likes to do on offense. Like, this is the first time he's a head coach. Now, his offense has been out there, right? He was the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay last year. People have an idea of what he wants to do, and obviously with this being his 5th game, but I think a lot of it with Jacksonville's success has to do with coaching. I think there's been a lot of bad coaching going on there recently in Jacksonville. If it's Urban Meyer, I love the Silver Fox, Doug Peterson. I know you can't stand him. He did win a playoff game. Let's give him some credit there.
Yep.
But we're a long way separated from that playoff game. About 4 years, 3.5 years separated from him winning.
Going to be 3 years, yes.
From him winning that playoff game. So for the last 2.5 years after that, it's been nothing short of a mess, especially when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. And I think with how Lawrence...
He's the perfect product of... He just needs a great coach.
And that too.
He's not a great player regardless of the coach. He can be a great player with the right coach.
Let's call it how it is. It's not like he's burning the league down any this year.
Definitely
but at the same time, He hasn't done things in past where he would be throwing interceptions and playing his team out of games.
Now, and the thing is, and he has been erratic, and he honestly drives me crazy because he's a little on. He has good drives and really bad drives. You will see it tonight. You will see, this second quarter, they're great. And then all of a sudden they come out first drive of half, and he is throwing them out of the game. Point being, Lawrence, I think, is the perfect product of if he gets the right coach, a la Darnold, Baker's a great player, but guys like that who just need to be put in the right situation. Lawrence is one of those guys. He is not a tier 1, can play with anybody, can play any day of the week. Everything's going to be fine. He needs to be situationally put in the right position for him to be successful. That is a fine thing, and you could succeed with that. You just need to get the right things around him. I do think the fact that Liam Cohen's an offensive play caller, that's going to lead to some consistency. You'll miss out on defensive coordinators, but you're not going to lose your offensive system. They also have the youngest staff in the league. Their offensive coordinator is 29 years old. Their defensive coordinator is 35 years old.
Yours truly sitting across from me is older than the coordinator. Okay.
And but Lawrence, granted, Liam Cohen is a 36-year-old, 38-year-old guy.
Right.
So it's a young staff, and they're coming off a huge win on the road against San Francisco. This is going to be a game. Number one, you're going to see a lot of Kansas City fans. So that will drive me crazy. When they open up and they do the wide shot and Bucket Aikman, you're going to see a lot of red. You're going to see a lot of red.
They're also...
They travel so well.
That, and I feel like everybody and their sister has become a Chief fan over the last 3 years.
Right,
but
so that hurts.
Let's flip it over for Kansas City because I mentioned, if you were listening at the turn of the hour or last segment of Russo and Rizzo, my game plan for greatness for the Chiefs tonight was get Mahomes, or rather have Mahomes be the Mahomes we saw last week.
Granted, that Raven defense,
we actually saw something.
The Texans looked great against the Ravens,
but we also saw something from Mahomes. Though, our producer Christian Cat talks about all the time. The Chiefs are a tough watch over the last couple of years. It's hard to argue that. Mahomes rarely throws over 220 yards anymore. He rarely throws multiple touchdowns anymore. They win ugly. Mahomes finally had a Mahomes-esque game recently. Well, do that again, especially being 2-2. Get over 500. If you're Kansas City,
they get the Lions next week too.
If you're Kansas City, you want to win this. Obviously, you want to win, but you want to have that right foot ahead of you going throughout the rest of the year. You want to have that foot in the right direction after this week as well.
All of a sudden, you lose this game, then you get the Lions next week, and the Lions have been killing everybody. All of a sudden, that's a 2-4 opportunity.
Is this unfair to Jacksonville, what I'm about to say? Maybe. But this was a game, I think, if you're Andy Reid and the Chiefs, where you go at Jacksonville, that's a win.
Well, not now. You say differently now, but yes, I understand.
But especially being 2-2
You know why they win is because of experience. You're going to see an experienced coaching staff versus an inexperienced coaching staff. I think you will see that evidently tonight. I do.
Being 2-2 at this point, I don't think Kansas City had that on their bingo card either. Dropping a game at home to the Eagles in the way they did it as well, in an ugly game, a mucked up game, a game they usually win. But Mahomes had 270 and 4 touchdowns against Baltimore last week. Maybe a little more of that. And Worthy, we mentioned he's questionable. I think if he's back, it'll help. And get the running game right. 13 carries for 34 yards for Kareem Hunt.
They cannot run the ball.
They can't. I don't understand it.
Jacksonville will do a good job against that tonight.
Years,
it's going to need to be Mahomes if they want to beat them.
It's so uncharacteristic of an Andy Reid team that can't run the ball. Go back to his days in Philly with LaShawn McCoy. Early days in Kansas City when they had a prime Kareem Hunt. And now the last 2 years with Pacheco and company and an older Kareem Hunt, my God,
they were much better last year and the year before comparatively.
It's been abysmal this year.
Yeah. And you're definitely seeing the age of Travis Kelce. He's old. He's not the same player he once was. He's still dangerous. He's still obviously great when he's on. But, that's a team that doesn't have a ton of playmakers.
No.
But they just have the best player on the field at any given moment.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Well, they're
man.
They're going to take their shots. Jacksonville is going – if they go into this game, and they've been relying on turnovers, if they go into the game relying on turnovers, Kansas City's not handing this game off. I do not think that going in expecting Kansas City to sort of run into their own obstacles that they create for themselves, I don't think that's the right strategy. I think Jacksonville is going to need to control this entire game.
Yeah.
And I think the team that does control this entire game, whether it be offensively or whether it be defensively, just controlling the time possession, whoever does that, I think will win the game. That would be my takeaway.
And Lawrence on the year, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 845. Maybe it's a big game for him. Maybe he's
played better than the stats indicate, but he still hasn't played great.
And what Chiefs defense are you going to see too? Is it going to be that all-pro defense that we've seen for the last couple of years, or are we going to see a Chief defense that it's kind of looked vulnerable at moments this year?
They're going to be pretty solid. It's going to be a competitive game. I'm very curious because on my Jacksonville thought process after this, Jacksonville has got the Chiefs. They get a short week. Then they play the Seahawks at home next week. And after that, they go to the Rams and play them in London. And then they get their bye. Jacksonville needs to go 1-2 there. They go 1-2 and they go into 4-3. I'm okay with it. If they go 2-1, you're ecstatic. If they go 0-3, you're really not happy.
Now, I said the Chiefs' defense has been vulnerable. Kyle, they haven't given up 30 points one time this year.
No.
They had 27 is the highest point guard, and that was the Chargers in a game.
They haven't played great offenses.
Correct. But at the same time, maybe we hit, this is the fifth quarter presented by our good friends at Hard Rock. Maybe we look into that under. We look into the under tonight?
I mean, I haven't taken a look at that.
I think we start to look into that under because
I'm not rooting for an under in the game my team plays in. Yeah, that is
score points.
That's unethical.
I watch the Chiefs. I don't watch the Jags. You score points.
45.5 is the number.
I like the under. 17-10, 17-13.
Yeah, probably is a good bet. I'm not taking
4 touchdowns. Mahomes did throw 4, but we mentioned that
I'm not taking that.
That godforsaken Raven defense that everyone was running rampant with
I'm not
before
taking
the year.
That. I'm not taking.
You're not taking the under?
No.
I think I'm going to take the under.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
I think I would take that under.
What does your opinion change in favor of Jacksonville if they win tonight's game?
Division champs. That's what I think. They beat Kansas City.
You would say that team is better than what the Colts have showed you?
Probably not, but I would say they have a chance at the division. Right now, it's the Colts' division to lose with how well they played, especially with that convincing victory they had this past Sunday. But if they beat Kansas City, Kyle, I don't care that it's at home. It's still Mahomes and it's still Andy Reid.
Yeah, that's a game that I've said this before. I said it about San Francisco last week. The games that Jacksonville never wins are games like San Francisco on the road, or games like the Chiefs at home. It's like when the Patriots would come to town. Now, the Jaguars beat the Patriots week 2 of 2018, one of the great moments of my life. I'll never forget it. But outside of that, they really don't win games like that. They never beat a great team in a big spot when a lot of people are watching because they're just not used to it.
Back to my division thing, like the Texans, they might have won 2 in a row.
I don't buy that at one bit.
I don't either against the Titans and the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens.
And, more than Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, but yes.
It was still a disgrace, 44-10 for the Ravens. Regardless, the division is worse. And one would think, I hope it doesn't because he's our guy this year. One would think the whip falls out of Indiana Jones's hand this year. I mean, is that going to last all year long? Are they going to keep beating butts all year long with Danny Dimes at quarterback?
Team's good.
Wow. I mean,
get some respect for Daniel Jones.
Well,
he's going to give you what he does. Yeah, that's our guy.
But he's going to hold the whip in his hand and be running around the Temple of Doom and creating havoc all year long.
Anthony Richardson got snaps yesterday. That's how good they played. Anthony Richardson got a drive. That is how good the Colts played.
If you beat Kansas City, I know this isn't the Kansas City of years past.
It is the pearly gates, though. It's the pearly gates into contention. It is. That's what the Chargers did. The Chargers beat Kansas City in that week 1 in Sao Paulo. And after that, and I know the Chargers haven't looked good in the last 2 weeks.
They got a cheater as a coach.
But after that game, the perception on them completely shifted.
Yep.
Everybody's view on the Chargers just always being the Chargers, sort of being that 2A, it elevated to a 1A. They became very dangerous once they beat Kansas City.
Well, and Kansas City never loses that game historically. The game
they
never
never lose
to the
that
Chargers.
game. This is another game that they never lose.
Yeah, it's the international game against the Chargers.
Kansas City will lose a divisional game here and there, and they will lose to the great team. And they'll maybe drop one outside of that. But they never lose to teams like Jacksonville, the budding team that's looking, that people don't know if they're for real or not. They don't lose games like that. And if they did, I would, number one, think that Jacksonville's here to stay for real. And the other side of things, I would also say that Kansas City is still not that good. They're still flawed. I would still not put them as divisional champs.
I know, and I just got done saying how Kansas City wins tonight is to have Mahomes look like the 4-touchdown, 270 quarterback again. Dude, the offense just isn't that good.
They don't have talent.
The offense just is not. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Probably still the best. One of the best quarterbacks in the league.
One of one if you're starting a playoff
But at the same
game.
time, Juju Smith-Schuster What is this, 2019?
Tyquan
Come
Thornton,
on, man.
Travis Kelce.
I mean, dude, Kelsey's great, but come on. Pacheco and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Kareem Hunt in 2025. And that's my guy. He went to Willoughby South, grew up 20 minutes away from me. You get what I'm saying? We're a long way separated from these guys' primes. It's time they get some new bodies in there.
They haven't drafted well.
Oh, they've drafted miserably.
They haven't drafted well, and they have sort of put all their stock defensively. They thought that once Mahomes got great and once they continued to win, they thought, all right, we're going to keep Travis around. We're going to keep Patrick Mahomes around. We're going to keep a handful, not all of them, a handful of our great offensive linemen, and then we're going to invest everything else into defense. And that's what they've done.
The running secret of the Chiefs, guy named John Dorsey was their GM and drafted Mahomes, drafted Kelsey, drafted Tyreek Hill, drafted Kareem Hunt, drafted the likes that started, got Andy Reid in.
Andy Reid was the big one.
Brought Andy Reid in. Ever since Dorsey left, you're right. They have not drafted well. Now, we can sit here. They've made decent enough signings. They've
always good
They've
defensive players. They're good defensively. Offensively, they haven't figured it out.
Of course. And this isn't me saying, John Dorsey's the only reason they're winning. That'd be foolish of me to say. But you brought up the draft picks. They've been swings and misses. Now, Josh Simmons, I can't tell you, I've been watching my fellow Buckeye playing left tackle every game.
And you can't judge him after 5 games.
Exactly.
But Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a swing and a miss. They went for X-Worthy, who has still been in and out. Nobody knows what's going on. We know that Rashee Rice, we're waiting to him to come back, but that hasn't been necessarily a flare.
It has not. Their picks haven't worked out. And that's the one thing you could look at the front office and go, okay, they are not good at doing that.
Yeah, the one thing about Kansas City, too, is getting Steve Spagnuolo, who is a former head coach and a defensive coordinator, really did give them some consistency. That's the best segue. If you want a good defensive coordinator who's not, because you want to get a guy who you know is not going to leave. Vic Fangio is another good example of this.
Dude, hire of the year, Fangio.
You want guys who are former head coaches who didn't work out, who don't want to make the jump again, and just want to make their $1 million a year being a defensive coordinator underneath your coach, and you have that guy for good. And that is the ultimate segue into having a consistently great defense.
And you give Reid in that front office credit because Reid is an offensive guy. And he knows, hey, defense probably not my – I got to make sure I got somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. And that's why I worry a little bit, and not to completely go in a different direction. That's why I worry a little bit in Dallas, right? With Schottenheimer, offensive guy. He's got that clueless Eberflus there.
Yeah.
No wonder they're so terrible.
It worked with Dan Quinn, and then Dan Quinn ended up taking a new job.
Exactly.
That was a weird one because that worked for them.
But, I understand there's no Micah Parsons, and it's uphill battle from there. But I remind you how bad that Cowboy defense has been. But that's a good shout. If you're an offensive guy, you got to make sure you got someone on. And then it's
consistent guy defensively.
And even if you're a defensive coach, you got to make sure you got a good. Remember Belichick and his McDaniel. Now, McDaniel stunk as a head coach. Terrible.
Yep.
But at the same time, he was a hell of a coordinator.
Consistency amongst coordinators really is an underrated aspect of a great NFL team, and the Chiefs have sort of nailed it. Remember, they had Eric Bieniemy sit there for years and years and years. He ended up moving on, but years and years figuring it out. Now they got, I believe, Matt Nagy, in that spot.
Nagy.
And so that's what they're favoring, consistency. It's the same thing every year, which is why the Chiefs are good every year. It's such an underrated aspect of NFL teams when they lose coordinators and then they feel it. That's why having the up-and-comers is sort of a blessing, but also a curse because everybody wants to get a hold of these guys. When you had sort of the old guys around the block who don't necessarily want to move and just want to continue to win, that's when the dynasty starts.
The only team that hasn't missed a beat from the revolving door of coordinators
Rams.
And Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, Liam Cohen left. Dave Canales left. I don't even know who the hell's calling plays this year. Yeah. But you think Emeka Egbuka and Baker look good this year?
It's true. That's true. For defense, and McVay's another good example of that.
That too.
100%. Coaching, NFL is 75% coaching. It really is. If you don't have the right coaches in place, you're not going to succeed. You can have the great players and not have the great coaches. That is what the Chiefs have nailed. Jaguars have a bunch of up-and-comers, which makes me a little nervous. You got ultra experienced versus ultra not.
Well, you also I call it the book, right? It's tape. The book really isn't out there for Cohen as a head coach. It's out there for his offense as a coordinator and whatnot.
Well, now you get a sense of what the thing is. Jacksonville's offense has not hit their stride. They have a ton of penalties, and also just the receivers have stunk.
And you mentioned the Lawrence's numbers don't reflect his play. I understand that, but also, I mean, mediocre statistics from a guy who is a generational talent.
And Lawrence can lose in the game. That's probably what the Chiefs' game plan is. Yeah. Make Lawrence lose the game. You put the ball in his hands, stop the run, and put the ball in his hands, you're probably going to win the game. That is what the Chiefs are. I can tell you right now, that is their game plan.
I know you don't want to hear this, but I think tonight's going to be low scoring and sloppy.
I think
I really do. I think
the
defense will rule here.
I think
tonight.
Chiefs are going to win too. I do. I think it'll be close, but I do.
And if it's that kind of game, the Chiefs will win.
We'll make our picks as we get a little later on into the program. First of all, download the Hard Rock Bet app today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and get started on the Monday night football action. You also got the Phillies and the Dodgers, which is first pitch is underway out there at Citizens Bank for Game 2. They had a day off in between Game 1 and Game 2. But they're back at Citizens Bank in Philadelphia. Middle of the first, no score yet between the Dodgers and the Phillies. We'll give you updates as we get further on into the program. But what we will do on the Hard Rock Bet app is still get involved. You could live bet. You could go player props. You could go game by game. You could string them all together and parlay it. The futures, NBA and NHL futures are on my horizon. I'm making my picks tomorrow. So all of that is on the app, and you can get started. And if you win your first $5 bet on the app, you get $150 in bonus bets immediately. Bet your first 5, win it, and get $150 immediately on the app. That's Hard Rock Bet. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT IT. The fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet. We roll on here. Get our underdogs. Monday's best bet. Well, it's all to come right here on the fifth quarter. ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT IT.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
Are you tired of the hassle of buying a car? At Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, we're changing the game. No pushy salespeople here, just friendly product specialists on salary here to help you find the perfect ride. With over 500 vehicles in stock and a goal to sell 250 by month's end, that means incredible deals are waiting for you. Forget the back and forth negotiations. Once you pick your dream Kia, you'll work with one manager the entire time, making decisions on the spot for a smooth, stress-free experience. We'll even handle the paperwork, your tags, insurance, and every detail. Need help learning all the features? We'll schedule a post-delivery session when it's convenient for you. And if you can't make it in, we'll bring a new Kia right to your home or office for a test drive. Plus, for a limited time, you'll see the factory invoice right on the windshield of every car in the showroom. Visit Greenway Kia today or shop online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
What if every use of your debit card turns spare change into something meaningful, like growing your savings and supporting local community causes? With Flagler Credit Union's Impact Checking with Everyday Change, your spare change can have big impact. Each transaction can be rounded up to grow your savings and support nonprofits that provide meals, shelter, and essential services locally. Make an impact in your life and in your community. Open your Impact Checking account today. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Gators fans, you still have 3 chances to catch Florida football live in the Swamp this season. Don't miss homecoming against Mississippi State on October 18th. Military Appreciation Day versus Tennessee on November 22nd. And Florida State for Senior Day on November 29th. Visit FloridaGators.com to get your tickets today.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Sudden death starts now.
Gotta be better than that! That ain't gonna win! That's not gonna win!
This is the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
The fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. We got Christian Cat behind the glass. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You got Monday Night Football tonight between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. And we had a big weekend of a number of different upsets. And what does that mean when we could do a little upset? We could do some underdogs. We could see what we could have taken and make it out like bandits on the weekend slate of NFL football. Now, there's a number of different directions we could go.
Kyle, can I handle our two NFL?
Yeah, which ones do you want to do?
New England and Tennessee. Outright to win the game. I mean,
New England was plus 320.
Wow.
Add that to the parlay. That's a winner's parlay. I was a winner. That's a winner's parlay.
You were on that. You were on that.
I thought the Patriots would play well. There was something about them. I don't know.
Now,
it's bizarre. And you thought Tennessee as well, huh?
I mean, dude.
That team was
I would have never guessed it.
340. If you had plus 340, plus 320, you're already making out like a bandit. And that's not even including the college side of things. There's an obvious one. Christian, do the honors. We have UCLA over Penn State to win outright. Let's check the odds right here. That is... Christian, you want to take a guess?
I would say they were probably plus 750.
1,500.
Oh, double it.
Dude,
oh, my gosh.
They were 24.5-point favorites.
24.5-point favorites. 1,500.
I think you can stop there. I think you can stop there.
Yeah.
You take a cup of coffee, a $5 parlay, money line, those three winners that we saw, and you are making out with $1,473.
That's unbelievable. Guys, and listen, Christian, you know I'm not the fan that piles it on you guys from your team loses like you do to me. Okay, that was one of the worst losses I've ever seen.
Yes,
and it hurt as a Big Ten fan.
And carrying the guy out.
That was
hold on, that's a Big Ten team, Mike.
That's why I said it. No, I mean they are, but I don't claim
iron sharpens iron, baby.
Hey, here's my thing.
That's the Big Ten. That's the bot. We needed that for the Big Ten.
Down
Big
the
Ten
wire.
looks good.
No.
Big
That
Ten
team
looks
is
good there.
terrible.
It's got depth now.
Christian, they might win two more games throughout the
Jerry
season.
Neuheisel.
I want UCLA to finish 1-11. I really want their only win of the season to be against number 7 Penn State.
And Christian, not to go there, but
I'll check that schedule.
What do you? I've seen so much, and you know me. You tell me not to doom scroll on your teams when they lose. I do the same with the Yankees because I like seeing Yankee fan complain. But in this sense, I was looking at Penn State fans on X. Dude, everyone wants Franklin out. $50 million is that buyout. Where are you at with James Franklin?
If my college group chat went public, I would not be on the air tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough.
This is all your Penn State buddies.
Dude, not in a good headspace.
How were they after the Oregon loss?
We've come to used to those losses.
Yeah, that's like, all right, they don't win those games.
Yeah. It's like, sure, we'll psych ourselves up on the week leading up, and you're a 3.5-point favorite against Oregon at home. But this is a foreign concept. Losing to UCLA like that with this team's expectations. Before this, it's like, oh, you lost in double overtime to what could be the number 2, 3, or even number 1 team in the country. Them's the breaks. But you lost to the cesspool that is UCLA football, a team that hasn't led for a second, that hasn't won a game. Oh, just firing back and forth possible replacements for James Franklin. That was undoubtedly That's the underdog of the weekend.
That's the underdog of the weekend.
Yeah.
If you were to do that, that would be.
That hurt. And all my Buckeye friends, because they're all Penn State phony. I'm the only one who gives Penn State credit. I couldn't after the Oregon loss, I looked at Christian and I said, I can't defend him anymore, man. I don't even know what to I don't even know what to do here. I don't even know what to do with the UCLA loss. But how about that? Plus 1,500 for them, plus 340 for the Titans, plus 320 for New England. Dogs are eating good this weekend, boys.
Dude. All right, and people want to pump up James Franklin and look at the resume. His New York 6 bowl wins, they're over Washington, Memphis, and Utah.
Yeah. He's won one game, and it was 2016 at home against Ohio State.
Need a block kick
I'm
or
already
return for a touchdown to win.
I'm already hypothesizing who they'd go after if and when they get rid of him.
But, who?
Matt Campbell from Iowa State.
He's an Ohio guy, but it would be a hell of a hire.
That they could get him. He would go for that job. That's a big job.
We need a jerk. We don't need a good PR guy.
Yeah?
We as in Penn State.
Get the guy at Virginia. Tony Elliott is his name.
Yeah.
Get him. Mike doesn't like Virginia.
I think they're phony. I took Louisville.
I went through him over the week.
I didn't.
He's a Clemson guy who first had coaching gig at Virginia.
Quickly, on that Virginia, I took Louisville on the side, not in my parlay. I thought they were going to win that game.
Yeah.
Overtime again. Second straight time Virginia's gone to overtime. But Christian,
do you think Indiana's Kurt Signetti would leave Indiana for Penn State?
No. I don't think so either. Because Colin's
the same job. He gets the same amount of money. It just has way less expectations.
I was going to say, I was going to steal Colin's take in sense of, I was going to steal your take. Mark Stoops is the same way. Or is that the son's name? I forget the son's name.
The one at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like you can win 6 games and be a god. Like, if Signetti wins 10 games and goes to the college football playoff with Indiana, they'll pay him all Midas.
They are getting the same opportunities, but I do have a hard time seeing him leave because the money's going to have to entice him, and he's making good money.
I had a real issue with Drew Aller's attitude after the game. I can't lie. It's a Northeast Ohio kid. He's one of us.
A spoiled rich kid.
That's unbelievable.
That reporter had the chance to make a quote for the ages when he goes, hey, do you guys think you're out of the playoffs? He goes, what do you think? If they went, I think you guys are out.
He said, oh, well, I don't know. He goes, well, I don't know. Christian, he goes, I've talked to Drew Aller, by the way, quarterback of Penn State, said, I've talked to Penn State players about this. It's just different when you play for this university. That was such a bad take.
Would Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State leave for Penn State?
You want him.
I would love someone young.
I mean, they're not bad. They're 4-1.
It'd be great to have someone young as Penn State head coach.
That's not a bad one. That guy has got a jerk mentality, and when you're a jerk and you're a good coach, you could get away with it.
Guys.
So you want to hear what Drew Aller, for the audience, it's a great audio bite.
It is. Thank you.
So take a listen to Drew Aller post after losing to unranked UCLA as Penn State is the 7th team in the country.
Are you guys
Yes. What do you think? No. That would have been perfect.
They need to win realistically.
They need to win out.
Yeah.
And then there's a conversation.
Did they get in if they win out?
They do. 2 losses.
Not a question.
Two losses.
That is assuming that Indiana is still as highly ranked as they are when they play them.
A 10-2 Penn State gets in. Unfortunately, people are going to forget about this loss if they won. The table.
Christian, usually
not a doubt in my mind. You're not dead, but I don't think you're going to do that.
Usually, I am. And we did this game last year. I am always scared of Penn State every year. Doesn't matter if they're Penn State. It's a big game for them. It's a rivalry game for us as well. I'm not scared of you guys this year. I think we quite frankly handle you guys pretty well at home.
You weren't impressed by FIU beat down 34-0 at home?
So, yeah, that's why, and I know it's shocker, but for those of you that know me, I doomsday the Penn State game all the time thinking that we're going to lose, but not this year. I mean, there's no chance in the big picture point, there's no chance in hell they go undefeated. They're not winning in Columbus.
James Franklin truly, as you guys mentioned, has won one game. He's won a big game. It was 2016, and it took a block kick, return for a touchdown, a miracle for it to happen.
And what is he, 15-30 against top 25 teams? Can't have that.
In true Penn State fashion, that same year, they didn't even make the playoff.
Yep.
They put Ohio State in, and granted, we didn't belong because we got waxed by Clemson, but still the point.
I'm already hypothesizing on who did go after. That's a big job. It's a big job.
Huge job.
You could go after a number. Is that a bigger job than Florida? Florida opens.
I think so.
That's close.
I think so.
I don't know.
I think it is because
You need a national championship this side of the century. I feel like Florida might be a bigger job.
I would kind of agree.
there's been too much turnover.
I don't know if a coach would like Penn State
me
more
out.
because Penn State you have a lot more leeway. You
Yeah,
can get away.
there's
James
been-
Franklin's gotten away with murder, and he's been okay.
There's been too much turnover with the Florida job.
That I
recently.
agree with. So I think there's
Penn State's been solid.
Florida, there's
Obviously,
more
Penn
upside.
State has never fired a coach for their performance in the history. Of course, that's the Joe Pa situation.
Yeah.
The reason
O'Brien
he's
left for
Penn
Texans.
State and before Joe Pa, Penn State has never fired a head football coach for poor performance.
It's time.
Would you be surprised for an amicable split? That's best case scenario because you'd save yourself some money.
James Franklin has long been rumored to take the USC job when it's opened up twice, and that door has been opened and closed now. But amicable would mean James Franklin's got a job online too. So then you got to play the game of wherever
James
he
Franklin. Now, one thing I'll say is James Franklin will get hired fast. He'll
Guys,
get hired Power 4 fast.
He'd have to be a head coach because I can't
He'd get-
see Franklin being a coordinator. He's a CEO
No,
guy.
no. He'll be a Power 4 fast.
Guys, I think we're all and
Fast, really fast.
I can't believe I'm the guy bringing this up because it's usually you because you're a quote unquote money guy.
Yeah,
of
they
the
can't
show.
afford it. They can't afford it.
$50 million.
Yeah, they can't afford that.
The guy
No, you
signed
know-
a 10-year contract, Christian, in 2022.
And they extend him
It's gonna-
every season.
And,
they
and Christian,
extend
the
him.
only reason I bring this up, I read it online at the Sports Business Journal. $50 million it's going to take to fire James Franklin. $50 million is his buyout. Now, they Texas A&M oil money. They gave Jimbo
That was 70, right?
76.
76.
So, but at the same time, and you've brought it up on the show, I had it earlier during Russo and Rizzo. They're renovating Beaver Stadium for like $700 million made. The money don't, and I know Penn State they got the money, but that's still a lot of dough. Even to an entity like Penn State, it's a lot of dough, dude.
All right, so I've answered my question. Clark Lees did a good job at Vanderbilt. He could probably get a job elsewhere. James Franklin replaces him at Vanderbilt. That's where he started. Not started, but that's where he came from as Penn State. James Franklin goes back to his roots just like Scott Frost went back to UCF. How about that? And then Penn State hires a hot shot free agent head coach.
Yeah, it's just the one thing is he's going to go to the SEC.
Same thing, different expectations.
You think you think Wisconsin would go and get James Franklin? Totally could.
Jim Knowles.
I'll save you the suspense. They totally
By
could.
the way,
can't hide in that Big Ten West division anymore.
No.
That's
I mean, comparatively to what's going on now.
That used to be the best job in football.
It used to be the best job in football because you had a one-way ticket to the Big Ten championship game every single year.
Jim Knowles, highest paid defensive coordinator in the country. James Franklin, one of the highest paid coaches in the country, and they have 2 losses.
Jim Knowles is a spy. Like he's an undercover.
But he
How
went
do
to
you
Penn
give?
State.
I know. I'm doing that tongue in cheek, but to be that highly paid and that big of a get, and to get dog walked by UCLA,
Dude, the offense was unbelievable.
come on. And I make fun of Drew Aller, and Drew Aller's getting a lot of flack. He didn't even play that bad in that game. The defense.
I mean, they ended up scoring 35 points. So I mean, at a certain point, they couldn't get a stop.
And listen,
dog,
Knowles,
baby.
Knowles was
1,500 is unbelievable.
that is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's
Ohio beating Ohio State.
correct.
I mean, that is
Correct.
unbelievable.
But guys, I'm not kidding when I say this. I mean it when I said it. They were the worst Power 5, Power 4, whatever you want to call a team in the country heading into that game. They
fired their coach.
They
fired their coach 2 weeks ago.
They lost to Dan. They lost to Dan. They lost
It's week 6. They fired their coach 2 weeks ago.
They lost to Dan Mullen and UNLV. They lost to New Mexico State.
New Mexico with Jason Eck.
There
good
you go.
coach who's going to get a good job one day. Maybe Wisconsin.
Maybe
Go ahead.
Penn State. But still, wow. How do you, brother? That is the all-time loss of the all-time loss, and as Big Ten Mike, I can't handle it.
The bigger loss.
I can't handle it.
That loss on the road or when Notre Dame lost in Northern Illinois last year?
Yeah.
That was
it's
at
easy
home.
to minimize the Notre Dame loss because they eventually went to the national.
But
Northern
Dame was at
Illinois
home.
also was like undefeated for a number of years. Like this team was 0-4.
They were bad.
They were bad. Northern Illinois
No.
ended up being good, and they lost a bad game that knocked them out of that Power 5,
You wanna-
group of 5 contention.
I know Jack. Help me out with the last name again. I always forget it. The coach for UCLA, Jack.
Neuheisel.
He had a-
Jerry
J-
Neuheisel.
Sorry,
OC.
sorry. He called a great game, but at the same time, Nico I was the reason they won that game. That kid played out of his socks.
Well, the offense played great.
Nico.
That's why Neuheisel was getting all the credit because he called a good game.
Nico specifically, too.
They're paying him enough money. You better get a win.
That too.
Yeah, you better win one out of your 5 games.
I understand, but he deserves credit.
He might be Penn State's quarterback next year. Because Penn State can't develop these
and
quarterbacks.
Jerry Neuheisel leading Penn State down the tunnel next year.
Well, I've long been a proponent in these past several years of just get a transfer quarterback. It's working for a lot of other schools. Penn State clearly does not know how to pick them because when they have more than one, they pick the wrong guy. Bo Pribula was with Penn State, transferred to Mizzou, doing pretty good things. Will Levis had a good career at Kentucky when he left Penn State. I would really like for Penn State to get a transfer quarterback. I think that is the path to success in college football in 2025.
The thing we're avoiding is Drew Aller just has not been what was expected.
Go hire Kenny Dillingham
and
go get Sam Levitt, who's the quarterback of Arizona State, who's a good player.
Take that. Get a quarterback who's developed.
You'd sign up for that in a minute.
You would sign up. Hang on. You would sign up for the Oklahoma experience. John Mateer, offensive coordinator, coming with them.
With Ben Arbuckle, yeah. Who's going to get a big job. Go get that guy. That guy's a beast. That guy started coaching like 5 years ago. We'll do our Monday's best bet. We'll do our score predictions on the other side of things. Send you off into your Monday Night Football experience with 2 baseball games tonight. Phillies and Dodgers going on right now. Game 2, Dodgers lead 1-0. And as for the score, we'll give it to you after the break. No loading. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here. Football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. ESPN 106.3 has it all. Monday Night Football heats up. The Chiefs take on the Jaguars. Live coverage kicks off at 7 on ESPN 106.3. Fight for Monday glory.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
The Pink Smoke is taking over South Florida. Listen to Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba and Inter Miami in their pursuit of an MLS Cup all season long right here on ESPN 106.3.
Messi, left foot, in on Guzan, tipped it up and over, it's a goal! Lionel Messi is on the board!
Listen to it all on the ESPN South Florida app, brought to you by PNC Bank, Audi, and Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Head coach of Martin County football, sitting at 5-1, a great season. Coach Rod Harris texted me, said Al Golden to Penn State if they get rid of Franklin. Al Golden, the current defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, who was at Notre Dame. Would you be happy with that?
I thought you were going to say we were going to get Coach Harris, coach for Penn State.
Would Coach Harris leave?
Can he please put his name in the ring? Please.
Hang on. He'll bring good friend of mine, Vinny Sutherland, offensive coordinator, too, with him. So.
Win the Martin Bowl. You're in.
You hear that later on this week.
The top of the list.
All right. Coach Rod Harris, number 1. Kenny Dillingham, number 2. Al Golden, number 3. That is the list, unofficial. Plus a $55 million buyout for James Franklin.
Quickly, Luke Fickell might be available at the end of the year, Kyle.
I'll trade you. Wonder how good you really have it.
I honestly...
No, you wouldn't.
My football fandom has superseded a lot of my individual team fandom. I'm tired of the monotony of Penn State that, what the hell? Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I get the grass is not always greener on the other side, but I agree. At some point, you need to make a change.
The unknown possibility of winning 11 games, reaching a higher ceiling, is worth risking lowering the floor.
You'd take the gamble. You'd take the gamble.
I am, and I am a gambling guy, so maybe that says more about me, but...
You want to know what Franklin's defense is to this? We were in a playoff semifinal last year. We were a play away from the national championship. You people are spoiled.
And
that's what Barry Alvarez said for a fan base about the Wisconsin. Spoiled about what? They haven't won anything.
And then people that are James Franklin PR representatives, you would think, that just really hold this guy's pocket. It's kind of crazy. They're like, you want to be Nebraska, huh? That's what you want to be. You want to run a guy out of town and then fall to the depths of despair? You know what? I think Penn State's floor is higher than Nebraska. That's what I would say.
It is.
Hard Rock Bet. Go download that app today, and you can see Monday Night Football. Let's do our best bets tonight for Monday Night Football. Kansas City at Jacksonville, 8:15 ABC and ESPN with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call.
My man, Troy Buck, baby.
Troy Buck. It's the best duo in of the football.
I mean, it's the best broadcast on TV. Let's be honest.
Did you hear Nance during the Denver Broncos Eagles game?
I'm a big Nance guy for the record.
He stunk in the game. He was half asleep. Him and Romo's trying to dissect what they're going to do 3 plays in advance, and I was like, dude, this is too much. This is too much. You both need to... Nance, there's no energy.
I love Nance. I can't say a bad word about Nance.
All right, fair enough. All right, what do you like tonight in terms of the game, Mike?
Dude, under.
You like the under?
I love the under. 45.5. I think they're 2 decent enough defenses. I think, obviously, Kansas City's is significantly better than the Jags. I don't think the Jags' defense stinks, though. I don't think Mahomes is going to throw for
significantly better. It's good.
I don't think Mahomes is going to throw for 270 and 4 touchdowns. But I see this along the lines of what, Kyle? 20 to 16.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad bet.
20 to 17.
Think it's a bad bet.
I think it ends at like 37-38 total. I don't know. Is Jacksonville going to put up points? I'm in a lot of trouble if the Jags put up points. I'm banking on them not, though. I'm going to go under 45.
Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy, who's listed as questionable, is officially active for tonight. On the other side, Jaguars edge Trayvon Walker, who is one of their best defensive players, is inactive.
Okay, yeah, he was going to be wearing the club, right?
Which I would have loved, but if he can't go, he can't go. What are you going to do? We need him later in the season.
Yeah, but I'm on under, and then if I had to take a line, I mean, we already did take this earlier in the week, the 3.5 with the Jags, so I'm rooting for it. I'd probably go under plus 3.5 with the Jags.
Parker Washington to score a touchdown at any point is plus 550. That is free money for those who want to listen. And outside of that, in terms of the game, I actually think the line is exactly where it needs to be. But I'm going to take Jacksonville plus 3.5 on top of that. That is plus 1,000 2-bet parlay. Bet 10 to get basically a 200. Excuse me. Bet $10 to get 110. Excuse me. Plus 110. So you want to make some money? There's your opportunity. Parker Washington. You don't know who he is. That's fine. If you're not a Jaguar fan,
Penn Stater.
He will. Penn State legend.
We
got motivated.
We cannot get away from him.
He will score tonight. That's what I'll take.
Cannot get away from the Nittany Lion.
He's the most reliable receiver on that team.
Do you guys like teasers?
Depends.
What are you
Explain.
teasing?
I'm teasing the under 50.5 and the Jaguars spread plus 10.5. Gives you minus 115 odds. Pick your poison on how much you want to throw on that. I really, really love the Jaguars tonight, so I would do that teaser, essentially moving the under a little bit higher up and giving more points to the Jaguars. If I were to pick just one pick against the spread, Jaguars plus 3.5 is going to happen.
Maybe.
But you're a certified Chief hater. Keep that in mind.
I am not. I am a man who sees the trends, and the Chiefs just don't cover. They just don't. They are the week after they score 28 or more points. 0-9 against the spread.
That's a real stat?
Uh-huh. Yeah, baby. They have.
The way Christian said that, I thought he was making it up.
Yeah,
as
me
we
too.
went,
But
okay.
And they have failed to cover by an average of 12.2 points.
All right. It's a close one.
Get excited.
I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I don't. I'm not walking in expecting it. Maybe we walk into tomorrow's show and we're like, "Wow, are Jaguars the best team in the AFC?"
Oh God, come on.
Maybe we do that.
Travis Hunter, 2 touchdowns, 6 catches, and a pick.
If he scores tonight and all of a sudden a coming out party, that'd be great. Colin's a happy soldier.
I don't know what, you watch the team and and if I believe you, Kyle, but what the hell are they doing with that kid? What are they doing with that?
They're playing him both at one time. And therefore,
I haven't seen him. The only time I saw him was when he blew the game against Cincinnati.
Unfair.
Agreed.
Pass interference is that was not a fair call.
Blew the game.
Mike, he made a good defensive play.
They covered, right? They covered for us that game against Cincinnati, right?
He makes one big play a game offensively and one big defensive play.
You want to know what makes me worried? It was the same exact spread against at Cincinnati. They were plus 3.5.
Yeah.
They lost by 4.
That was Jake Browning. That's why I'll always respect Jake Browning.
Dude,
you might not respect Jake Browning. I'll respect Jake Browning.
Jeez.
Also,
respect him.
They're in a classic letdown spot, the Chiefs are, because they are coming off a big win against the Ravens, and next week they have the Lions.
Yep, this is a look-ahead week. I don't think that happens. Maybe it doesn't happen to teams like the Chiefs. That's more of a college thing for me, at least in terms of my viewpoints. But what I do say is the Ravens, that victory doesn't look nearly as good after what the Ravens showed this week. I know they lost a lot of those players last week during the Chiefs game, but that type of victory, Ravens go the next week and they lose by 100 points to the Houston Texans. Maybe the Chiefs are not as back as we initially thought. I'm trying to talk myself into this now.
They beat bad teams. They beat bad teams. With all due respect to the Ravens, they're bad right now.
All right, hold on. We're not going to loop in the Giants and the Ravens as one and the same, are we?
I mean, they both got the same record right now.
The Ravens with what they deployed yesterday are as bad as the Giants.
The defense, they're a mess with injuries.
Would that team yesterday beat the Giants?
No.
Christian, has nothing to do.
I agree with you. I think the Giants would beat them.
It has nothing, obviously when at full strength with Lamar, they're a top 3-4 team in the AFC. It's just not what they are right now, man.
Surprised you didn't give Lamar the MVP last year, Mike. The way you think so highly of him.
You're trying to put me in a shoot. You're trying to put me in a shoot.
Too bad. Maybe we'll come in tomorrow saying Jacksonville, Super Bowl contenders? Yay or nay? Looking forward to that. Speak it out into existence. They're going to win tonight.
We're going to say who's the best team in Florida after tonight. The Buccaneers or the Jaguars?
It's the Bucs. And I was high on the Bucs all year. Give me some credit. Before the year started, I was very high on the Bucs.
When we walk in after a 37-7 victory, Jacksonville over Kansas City, you're going to be singing a different tune. Beating Sam Darnold.
Listen, and We need them to cover. Let's just put it that way. We need that plus 3.5 with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet.
Take the over, take Jacksonville. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. That's Christian Catt. That was our Monday's Best Bet presented by Hard Rock Bet. This was the 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet. Download that app today in the App Store. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in front of the wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT. We'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow. We're only 1 hour, though, at 4 p.m. ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed during this program were solely those of the guests or hosts of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100